Greetings, and welcome to the Guild of Mazes presents So You Think You Can Quest, the online live-streamed Dungeons & Dragons-based game show with real cash prizes and precious stones that helps raise money for rotating community charities. I'm your host and Dungeon Master. And this is just a quick introduction to episode 22 of our open beta development process. Join us this evening as the players delve deep into the woods surrounding Fog Iron Landing and discover the troll encampment there. Many mysteries will be exposed and many more questions will be raised as they stand only a skill check away from complete demise for most of the entire night. Who lives? Who dies? And who walks away with a precious stone? You'll have to stay tuned to find out on this episode of So You Think You Can Quest. Column. Everybody else, welcome to So You Think You Can Quest, the Tuesday edition. We are here at an exciting moment. Our players are almost 5th level. They are on the cusp of returning to a site at which several players met their untimely end many sessions ago to both wreak much-deserved vengeance and also, see if they can forward the agenda of both the Guild of Mazes as well as the people of Fog Iron Landing. But before I get into all of the details of the previous night's game and what's likely to play out this evening, I just want to take a moment to welcome everybody to the stream and say you are right now part of the only online Dungeons & Dragons based game show with real cash prizes and precious stones that helps raise money for rotating community charities. And this night is no exception. We have a new stone for the prize pool. We have watched the prize pool increase in value by about $4 to $5 since last session, meaning that should the players manage to enter the dungeon that lurks underneath Hope's Rise, they will be splitting a cash pool of about $555 at the moment. And then also the charity that we are raising money for at this time is Heads Up Guys. This is a patron-nominated charity that was then voted on by the community. Heads Up Guys is a charity that helps both spread awareness and resources for men suffering from mental health, but specifically depression. And it is doing good work out there right now at a time where mental health resources are being taxed to their limit, so please don't hesitate to go and show them some love and check out their cause. As well, we also have another basically stream-wide giveaway that people will be eligible to win at the end of the night, provided by our first official sponsor, Kronos Games and Gifts. It will be a set of ChessX dice that I hand-selected from the selection provided for me out of dozens and dozens of sets, and they will go to one lucky viewer at the end of the night who's out there in the Twitch chat and around to be counted when the giveaway happens. On top of that, one of our contestants will walk away with a precious stone, and though it is unlikely, theoretically some sort of zany series of natural criticals could unveil and they could make it into the dungeon. But I think tonight is going to be more about sharpening their axes and getting the experience necessary. As sessions ago, they were rather brutally defeated by the Urnaga Nelafim, and they do not want to repeat such a humiliating defeat. To get into the action tonight, we find our party has now made it south to the ranch lands beneath Hope's Rise in the valley below to one Fog Iron Landing, a small settlement that they know to be extracting various extremely valuable minerals and ores from the ground, while also being preyed upon by an increasingly savage presence of mist trolls storming out of the fog-cloaked woods and otherwise raiding the settlement and disrupting supply lines. Having turned down the basically quest that had been given to them by a slightly suspect beholder or a sentient familiar squid that had acquired a psionic shard of consciousness and was now asking for their fealty, they moved on from the Mumbling Mage Inn and the troubles brewing underneath its lake out back to now take up the cause of these poor, downtrodden miners and townsfolk. Having also managed to somewhat mend the relationship between the cleric of Thothemi, who lives south of town and had been now basically cast out from the town proper in the form of sort of a witch that they feared, who may have been bringing some sort of ill fate upon them. She has agreed to once again start trading healing supplies and holy water with the villagers so that they might also start stemming this foul presence of these mist trolls. So, our players were capable of acquiring a scout that they are awaiting in the morning to come and basically escort them to this camp when they were awoken in the night by the presence of some towering ghouls feasting on nearby townsfolk and rushing from their beds, in some cases half-dressed in armor. They were able to easily defeat these ghouls, but that was at the end of the night, and so we left them there in the cold, dark fog of Fog Iron Landing, covered in the rotten stench of the grave and the disease that these ghouls had brought with them. One of them had almost perished in the encounter, and that player also, due to an unfortunate real-world complication, will be unable to join us this evening, so our paladin is going to be replaced by a cleric for the evening, as our rotating player from last session moves into a primary seat, and our fifth player for the evening is going to be in the form of a bard, actually. I believe marking bards as the most frequently rolled random class so far, which I find interesting. What the new cleric will do alongside their bard companion amidst the sort of situation they find themselves in, we will have to wait and see as they teleport in, and away they go. I can't think of anything else that I would need to stall this any further with, so I'm going to now transfer over to our players. Everybody, we are live. Just a heads up, I'm going to be popping into the stream. There we go. We are once again here. Everybody, welcome to the stream. We have Inel Nasera, our wizard at large, who has been mutated by an encounter with some rather potent magical gremlins who've rendered him with a bird's claw and the face of a griffin. Gale Warcrier, our resident warlock. And, for the moment, I'm going to say master of all things eldritch and forbidden. We have Jamira Garin, our tiefling bard, who will be joining us for the evening, and perhaps longer, depending on how the events of tonight play out. then Bakrun Growl, our half-orc fighter, who has proven to be both quite the sensible chap and, almost indispensable in as far as moving the party's agenda forward, both making friends with dangerous NPCs and showing a bit of, deference in the face of what are overwhelming odds. Then we've got, last but not least, someone who I'm realizing now I failed to change their actual name tag over during the break. So it is not actually Esteric who is joining us. That is instead... Boom, boom, boom. If you'd like to do the introduction yourself, you're well, but it is one Rydell Kadasser, a cleric of trickery, to which goddess I will not reveal, as I feel like that is the cleric's right to do. I am going to go ahead and put on some mood music to make sure that everybody knows that we are out in the farmlands right now, in the middle of the night, at a tense moment as the harp plucks and our adventurers consider the grisly scene before them, as they had been warned the day before by the cleric of Thothemi that something was unraveling the righteous path between life to death, in which all souls should be properly shepherded to their appropriate afterlife, and something was causing disturbances to emerge in the nearby forest. She believes that the source of these disturbances can be tracked to a cave and some ruins far to the north of Fog Iron Landing, but the players, though interested in helping the cleric of Thothemi, already find themselves up to their eyes in prior obligations and have not had the chance to assist her. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to our players now. Everybody, please take it away. As our fifth and fourth seat exchange, we hear the resounding zank, zank of the Guild of Mazes overtaxed teleportation system as two fresh recruits are stuffed through the crackling portal in the gathering hall and warped into the field. The fifth seat is going to be warped directly to the party, while the fourth seat, our cleric, will now be in the center of town, as that's where the guild's relay is last established. So you will have a chance to mill around the town square if you wish, Rydell, but that does mean, you will be alone and in the middle of the night, so do what you will with that. I'm going to stop talking now and turn it over to our players.
Where the hell am I?
Well, welcome to Uprise. More, how can I say that? We are in a little, murder encampment, and we just killed ghouls. And you're late.
It's about to get busy.
I'm gonna activate my guild
We need to
token.
burn the corpses so they don't spread their vileness amongst the townsfolk. Let's be quick about it. And I'll set to burning the ghoul corpses.
All right, Bakrin is
I use firebolt to burn them too.
All right, Bakrin and Inel, you will both be able to make short work of these ghoul corpses. Meanwhile, it seems like your companion is standing by, ready to accept a teleportation from any beacon that you should throw up, so they will be able to join you momentarily.
Gail, can you do that while we burn those bodies?
Yes, I got the beacon.
All right. Those two tasks will take approximately about the same amount of time as the ritual beacon that creates the teleportation necessary. Well, the teleportation beacon necessary for our companion Rydell to join the players will go off without a hitch. Arriving there, you will of course be quite sick and nauseous, as this is now the second time in less than 15 minutes you find your material body strung out and flung across the cosmos, dispersed into a field of consciousness unrecognizable to your own before it is once again wrenched from the very oneness that it experiences and stuffed back down into a third-dimensional consciousness that now has things like a body and a stomach to be sick to. So, momentarily overcoming your illness, our party is now going to be at least reunited here in the nighttime fields of Fog Iron Landing.
Welcome,
Can I ask
newcomer.
you-
What's their name?
That would definitely be one heck of an advertisement campaign. Free existential crisis per teleportation.
Hello, I'm Rydell. I need to give me a moment.
Not worry, we have time. I hope we do actually. I'm gonna go ask the guards. Hey, is there any more of those coming, or we're safe?
The guards arriving are going to, at first, thank you for your services as they try to then move about and console some of the peasants who just had friends or family slain in front of them. And then on top of that, there is going to be a cry that comes from across the town, not but a few moments after you ask this question, and one of the guards says, "Oh, no, this is all that I am aware of." The cry goes up, and you're going to see their heads swivel and kind of make an exasperated face at you and ask if the lot of you will stay here to watch this scene and make sure nobody else gets hurt for the time being while they go to investigate what exactly is transpiring across town.
We sure can. I mean, it's the job of the Guild of Mazes to protect people for a price, but let's talk about it later. Let's go.
Okay, with that, the guards will take off moments later, leaving you once again relatively unsupervised. Unfortunately, these ghouls not having any material possessions, even tattered clothes upon them, in your burning of their corpses, you find nothing that seems of value. There is little to show for your efforts and the, almost dead companion that you had to expend, not small amounts of resource to keep alive the previous session.
Everyone's fine for now.
I was bitten by the beast. Who knows what foulness it might carry. I felt no further, petulance about it, but I would like to get checked for such a sickness.
This might be
Rydell.
to talk about this holy water.
I'm no scholar today. Yeah, I think that might have a chance to be deadly.
Alright then. Gil, what's about it?
Okay, so I was just gonna say I have all these vials. I think we should distribute them up in case one of us dies. We don't lose them all. And by one of
Good
us,
idea.
I don't plan on dying.
Yeah, we should each take one.
We should have it in hand. I have 6 healing potions and 4 holy waters. We should take 2 of each. There's 5 of us. It's 10 potions.
I'm gonna take a healing potion. Just one for me. I will not take holy water because we're 5 and I'm mostly in the back anyway.
Yeah, give
I
the holy
don't want any
water.
holy water either, because, I sort of point to my horns.
So I have 6 healing potions and 4 holy waters. I'm going to hand 2 healing potions to Enel. I'm going to
Thank you,
hand
Gil.
2 healing potions to who is that with the bird beak? Is that right?
Yeah, Inel's the bird beak.
Yeah, man.
2 over there, and so I have 1 left. Plus, I have the 4 holy waters. What else?
Give me I'll take a healing potion and a holy water. If somebody goes down next to me, I'll be able to get them up with it.
All right, all right, he gets one of each. I got 3 holy waters left. I'll just hold on to them unless somebody else can use them.
I can take them.
All right, be sure to add that to your inventory. I'll take it out of mine.
All right,
Do you
Rydell.
want to hold on to any of them?
Keep one in case.
Keep the particularly potent holy vial as well.
Who am I giving that one to?
Just hold on to it.
Okay, I'm holding on to it. Got it.
All right.
Gale, keep one healing potion. Like I said, I only need one, and if you are hurt, I prefer that you use it. That I run to you and I use it for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll take one back from you.
If someone has an extra one, could I also get a healing potion?
All right. Who has healing potion right now? Me, Gale.
I have one.
I believe I do. You handed one to me, right?
I handed you 2.
Got it.
Give one to Jydel, please. Sorry, the Elvish comes out sometimes.
Give one to...
So 4 of us should have it. 1 will not get one, right? Who doesn't have one?
Bulk run, normally.
I have a healing potion and a holy water.
You have yours, but on the 4 that Gale gave us, you didn't take one.
Oh yeah, I just handed him one of each.
There was 6 healing potions for holy water.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Somebody
Sorry.
doesn't have a holy water, and I believe it was Inel who doesn't have the holy
That's
water. At this point, from what I understand, it's everybody has 1 healing potion. Inel has 2, and that speaks for all 6 because there's 5 players. If anybody has any extra potions after that, they had them from previous, like either purchasing or sessions prior. Because I know that the party had managed to come across a few potions back in the Mumbling Mage.
Yeah. I think Bobquin got one. I have 1 healing potion, and I gave my second to Gale, so they have 1 too.
I used that one last night on Creanie.
Right.
That's right.
All right, good.
Should be good.
Let us carry on then.
Carry on then.
All right.
As you sort of get done completing this momentary exchange and what is sort of just a very professional moment of like post-battle wrap-up to seasoned members of the Guild of Mazes, it is just but a professional formality, while the nearby townsfolk who have been watching you, go, okay, no, I'll take 1, you take 2, you give me 2, I'll give you 1, you give them 2, I'll give him 1, and then take 1 from them and give it back to you. As that exchange is going on, they will approach, and in a offer of both thanks and gratitude, they are going to bestow upon the lot of you what they have managed to gather between themselves, which is going to be a total of about 22 silver.
I'm gonna look at my friend and say, we don't need that, do we?
Thank you for your offering, but use it to make sure that the dead receive a proper burial. The ghouls are nasty creatures, and that's how they might come about more of them.
All right. And with that, having refused their initial offer, you'll see these townsfolk look downtrodden as they realize that what is a tremendous sum of money to them and their greatest way that they could say thanks to you for what you've done, that is going to cause one of them to step forward and say, well, we're not cash rich, but perhaps one of you might be able to use this in the future. And they are going to produce from their pack an ingot of what they identify to you as fog iron. It'll fetch a good price on the markets. We're not supposed to have these things, but the company makes too many to keep track of.
I'm gonna
Very well.
put my hand on him and say, thank you. That'll be enough.
All right. Fog iron, having the material identified for you by somebody who is familiar with it will allow you to instantly know the stats of what it is. I'm just copying and pasting it. So this is a I think one of the first special materials that the party is actually coming across that they can use in the crafting system. And if you forge a weapon out of fog iron, obviously on a critical hit, it ignores physical damage resistances. And then it has a rating of 1-2, which means that it can handle 2 different enchantments of first tier.
So
Oh no, sorry,
like,
it can handle 1 enchantment of up to 2nd tier, rather. So the party will theoretically, in the future be able to forge themselves a rather, I'm trying to think of it's not powerful, certainly not
impressive.
a modest magical weapon. If there is such a thing. Or simply offload that ingot for an increased profit later on. But it is going to be your reward for the time being.
was
As
thinking it.
the townsfolk now wanting to grieve for their dead and also return home after they had been so rudely interrupted in the middle of the night by these foul creatures, they will begin dispersing into the fog and leave you be. Adventurers, you have little time before your long rest is interrupted by more than an hour, meaning that you'll have to start over. It's either back to bed immediately or risk getting a much later start on the day. What would you like to do?
Newcomers, will you wait for the guards to see what they come back with while the rest of us return to bed?
Yes, if you need to rest, we absolutely can keep watch.
Okay then.
I can
you.
help
Thank-
keep watch if needed.
Oh yeah,
With
because you don't
the,
need long rest.
You don't want to spend too many hours awake and be exhausted, but I'll leave it to you. With the fog iron, let's put it with whatever other stuff we have in our guild cache, and I think the best use of it will come once we find someone who might be able to enchant such a weapon.
All right, I'll put it in my guild notes that I took.
All right. From there, it sounds like some of the party is going to be bedding down for the evening, and some of the party will be staying in order to see what the guards return with. After a few minutes, not all of the guards that you saw flee will return, but they certainly will return, and a couple of them have sort of relieved looks upon their faces when they get back as they shake their heads at a distance and get closer and say, "Oh, it was nothing. It was nothing. It turns out somebody just caught an awful scare over by the mines, thought there was something far worse going on than there was. Long shadows at night, the mist can play tricks on the eyes, especially after one's tired from a long day in the mines and has a head full of ale. We are thankful for your help. I'm unsure what mercenaries or organization you're with, but I fear we don't even have the equipment or the magical know-how to do what you and yours seem to be able to accomplish, so the townsfolk here owe you some gratitude."
Well, with that, we are with the Guild of Mazes, and I will bid you good night, and I will just go to bed with the rest of them, probably an hour or 2.
Okay, got it. That leaves...
I also sleep.
Okay, sleeping as well. Rydell, that leaves you the only unaccounted for. Are you going to also begin bedding down?
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
Are we, are the rest of us still up at this point, or did we already go to bed when the guards show up?
You would have already gone to bed by about 10-15 minutes.
Sounds good.
Okay, there we go. That will cause the rest of the night to pass without interruption, as hours later the morning will begin to rise, and you will hear once again the telltale sounds of pickaxe and shovel and the rattling of wheels and mine carts in the distance as fog iron lamps spring to life once more.
Well, good morning, team. Let's go eat and let us meet a scout.
Let's do it.
Oh, yes.
Sounds good.
Very well.
Oh, yeah, you don't know our plan, right? Rydell and you said it was Jemara. We're trying to scout ahead to a Mistral camp, so we need to be stealthy. Just putting it out there so you know what our plan is, and just you don't have to wing it.
Thank you. I excel in being stealthy, so I'm looking forward to this.
All right.
Good. Your skills will be invaluable in this.
What's for breakfast?
It looks like the inn is serving a mixture of what seem to be like late spring green vegetables, seemed like ramps, and various like small like starters of roots vegetables. The protein that they have for selection is in the form of just trout and small fish caught from the nearby lake, and it seems that there is also a bit of porridge left over from the night before that has cooked down. It's pretty like foul smelling, but it seems like you can tell the miners around who have all shown up for breakfast have a preference for it, as they are eager to sort of gobble down this high protein, like warm slurry early in the morning before they have to go break their backs in the mine.
At least they're not. Giving us some birds, because now I will feel bad if I eat that.
Certainly. There is, of course, still a presence here in the common room of more of the survivors of that fateful night in L that you were also scarred by. As you see, there are, still those who bear the telltale signs of the, like, polymorph spells that have not entirely worn off. Many still with the, ears of a mouse, the nostrils of a snake, that kind of thing. The rest of the party, what are you doing in the morning, if not just heading back over to the Cloudforge main office and seeing who and or what will be your escort for the day?
Yes.
First, our names are wrong in the stream.
Oh, the camera's moved around. That's funny. Okay, yeah, Inel, everybody got slid over. One moment. I will adjust those while the party is doing their thing. Oh yeah, everyone moved my... That's strange. Oh, I know what happened.
Anybody want to say anything or do anything?
So, finish our meal and then head to the...
Head off. Look on my lyre.
Yep. Have breakfast, rally, and then head over to the place.
I'll go with him.
I'll gear up, put on all my armor, get ready for the day.
Okay.
Right,
got it. Then...
Jemara, is there something you want to do? Or...
Oh, do any of you need gear before we head off? Do you all have proper equipment?
I would like a rapier.
I think such a thing could be acquired here. If not a rapier, at least a sword.
Yeah.
All right. A rapier would be easily acquired. I certainly won't make you take more time than necessary to purchase one of those, it looks like someone will be willing to part with one for a measly 12 gold pieces.
Actually, I have a dagger and a light crossbow that I don't use.
Do you could you have a weapon you could trade him for that rapier?
I have a short oh, never mind. I thought I had a short sword.
I have an extra light crossbow as well.
I'm gonna say to the person who was giving us the sword. Would trading for this crossbow and this dagger be enough?
That crossbow alone will fetch the necessary price for that rapier, so they will gladly take that in exchange.
There you go. I don't need ranged weapon. I am a ranged weapon.
Go ahead and deduct that crossbow from your inventory, please, and
I'm doing that.
Jamira, go ahead and add a rapier to yours.
And then, Jameer, do you have a ranged weapon?
Jamira? AKA Dim Reaper?
Oh, no, I don't.
Yeah, no worries.
In my light crossbow and 20 crossbow bolts. Here, I'm sure you can make good use of this.
All right. So heading over, without any further delay, unless there's anything else you want to get accomplished, the office of the Cloudforge Ironworkers Guild is waiting for you.
We're going to get a job.
Okay.
Good.
I don't hear any protest, so that sounds like everyone's in agreement, at least. The office is going to be abuzz with work early in the morning, whereas last time you had sort of arrived more towards midday, where all of the assignments had already been given out and people were in a state of motion. Right now you see there are crowds of miners gathered in teams as various leaders amongst them are talking with the foreman for the sites, as well as some of the basically engineers and planners, as the inside of this massive, essentially mesa-like chunk of cliff here that is from top to bottom being mined out is a rather dangerous situation for all of the ropes and pulleys and elevators and lost mine carts that are kind of careening around corners at any given moment from upper levels. That means that these people are going to be in a state of kind of rapt attention and not really notice as 4 or 5 more people enter the scene and sort of sidle their way up to the office. Your previous day's handler, the organizer, whose name you did not acquire, is going to be there, and as soon as she sees you, she's going to instantly introduce you to a individual standing to her right, who seems to have all the bit of the appearance of a scout that you might expect. Their hair greasy from days of unwash, their clothes almost indistinguishable from the dirt upon them, as well as bits of twigs and branches and greenery stuck to both their shield and traveling pack. Despite this, however, you will see that they appear both stout of body and keen of mind as their eyes study you on the approach, as if each one of you is being broken down systematically to this person to think about how much of a liability you might be once out in the wilderness. This takes but a moment, and your escort for now is introduced as one Wesdrin Varus. Wesdrin is, or Wes for short if you prefer, is going to shake your hands and prove to be a man of few words, as the organizer here is going to explain that this is your scout. They will be following your orders up into the point of suicide, and should there be any question at all over whether or not the party has been compromised, they are to flee immediately, as at this point you have orders from Zathira that your lives are more important than information at this point, is what she says. Meaning that we recognize individuals of your nature are not so commonplace that we would have you risk everything, whereas the long-term battle that may be in front of us is going to be won by strategic plays. So, please, you have our boss's blessing in getting out of there should things turn ugly. We are not currently going to be interested in paying you any more bounty for troll heads. However, we will have quite a bit of money left over should you manage to, come back with a few anyway.
Is there...
Got it.
I wish the Guild of Mazes shared your sentiments about its employees.
She will, not necessarily understanding that in reference, say, well, there is plenty of openings here at the Cloudforge Ironworkers Guild, so, by all means, if you'd like to pick up paperwork at some point, we have that available.
Well, let's see how this goes first. How much information, what exactly do we need to find out before we should head back if things go well?
We are most primarily concerned with their number, their location, if not multiple locations that they may have established at this point, and more importantly, we're most interested in trying to find out exactly what their leader is ultimately trying to accomplish here, and where he might be located. We think these trolls to be rather... dim beasts, you see. They do not have the same strategic mind nor the organizational capacity to lead in the way that this one has demonstrated. We're hoping that should the strongest of them fall, the rest will begin fighting amongst one another in order to replace them, and soon their ranks will scatter as they had before he had shown up in this valley to unify them. Failing this, however, once we understand the broader picture of what he is trying to accomplish by organizing these trolls, we might be able to more formally defeat or discourage his presence here. We have reason to believe, of course, that he has joined us from the Shadow Realm, the evil, almost abominable underside that borders the material plane between this realm and those of some of the more bleaker hells. We fear that this extra dimensional quality to this troll is what allows him to lead. And should we be able to remove that from the mixture, we should be able to defeat him, or defeat the trolls at large. And with his agenda being unknown, we cannot otherwise rebuke him or his presence here. If we can learn what he is trying to accomplish, we may be able to make that goal itself impossible.
Well, if we see a chance for assassination, we may take it, but I'll promise nothing. I take it your associate told you of the stuff of shadows making its nest in the ruins?
We did hear something about the cleric of Thothemi being concerned with the undead. However, that we think is unrelated at the moment. We do not have, I am afraid to say, the necessary resources to investigate both of these causes simultaneously.
Agreed. We will see to that ourselves, but I find incidences of great power like this. Rarely is coincidence involved. But we'll go and learn what we may of these trolls. Thank you. And we'll take our leave, I guess, unless anybody else has questions.
I think that covers it.
I think we're fine. Westrin,
Yes.
what is your specialty? Mostly in hiding, running, just laying low for a couple of days and analyzing my camp, something?
What race is the scout?
I'm good with a bow and arrow, keen shots, and I know how to keep out of sight. I can track most man or beast over land effectively, but we all have our off days. I'm sure you understand.
Yes. Especially after a long night of drinking.
Did you drink last night?
Let's
Well, no.
Hopefully you
What,
did.
let's have everybody get an armor that doesn't give us disadvantage on stealth rolls, and then we'll make our way to the troll camp as stealthily as we can with the help of Rydell.
I'll cast mage armor on myself.
Okay.
I'll swap over to my set of
Sorry,
leather armor.
wrong thing.
I don't think I have any armor.
Oh, do you not have leather armor?
Hold on. Let me... This sounds like... I just want to make sure Jamira's...
Oh, I do.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. Jamira's got armor. I'm looking at her character sheet right now.
And Rydell, do you have armor that we clink about while we're not about the forest?
Unfortunately, I only have scale mail, so unless
All right, let's go see if we can hunt down some sets of leather
Exchange.
armor and studded leather if we can find it.
Leather and studded leather will also be available.
Hey,
he's a
hey, there's a
Yeah,
reason
change.
why leather armor is the best at stealth. Because it's made of hide.
Nice.
Wouldn't that be hide
Nice.
armor then? I can't. No, I'm not getting into this. So
It was a pun.
does that mean
I could
that
get
you're looking for one set of leather and one set of studded leather, or just a set of studded leather?
We'd like to find a set of studded leather if we can, but if we can't, we'll go for the just regular leather.
Okay.
actually could it be a chain shirt instead? That doesn't have disadvantage and it's a little better.
I believe chain shirt's actually heavy armor. Oh, chain shirt, not chain mail. Sorry. So a chain shirt is also available. I mean, this town is not for a lack of like metal wrought goods. They don't have anything fancy. There's certainly no masterwork or no magical arms or armaments available in the blacksmiths here, but almost everything short of full plate mail is going to be available. If you're looking then for a set of studded leather and a chain shirt, is that what I understand?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, the studded leather is going to actually be a little bit more expensive than it would be normally, due to the sort of lack of quality hide goods down here, where the studs are actually fairly common. So that is going to be running you 35 gold pieces. And the chain shirt, however, will be a little bit cheaper than it would be otherwise. So that chain shirt is going to run you, one moment, only a total of 45 gold pieces. Just a small bit more than that studded leather, actually.
Could they stud up the leather I do have?
Yeah, they could stud up the leather you do have. That would take time, however.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll just stick with the leather I have, and then I'll leave it to Rydell to get the chain shirt.
Okay.
No, I only have 8 gold, so I can't get anything.
Oh yeah. Just a sec.
As they're buying, I'm just sort of like using my magic to just like make a sign, move it back and forth.
You're bored. You're just making arcane circles.
Yeah.
All right. So if are you going to be footing that cost then for the chain shirt, or because I know the guild has some money.
We have, but are we using that money on one guy? Sorry, I don't want to be that guy, but
Yeah. It's armor for somebody. It's pretty reasonable price too. 45 gold. I think guild funds is fine for that. But
yeah, we have 50 golds in the guild fund right now.
It's either that or disadvantage. I'll leave it up to you.
So yeah, die or 50 gold.
What
50
armor
gold
are
is
you
good.
in now?
So yeah, I'm gonna give 45 gold from the guild chest pouch that I have and go. Well, that was. It stayed at least 3 days in there.
Easy come, easy go.
Little high, little low.
So yeah, here's 45 gold. Now I'm gonna do the count. We have 5 gold, 99 silver, and 9 copper in the guild coffer.
All right. Then, without further ado, unless there's any other last-minute supplies that the party would like to acquire before they venture off into the woods, Western is going to be sort of hanging idly back, just almost scowling as he looks more and more towards the horizon as the sun rises further and further and further, as if to silently insist that you are losing daylight.
Let's go.
We are going to. Okay, alright. So Buckran in front, 3 spellcaster in the middle, and Iller in the back, or Iller in the back, Iller in the front, and Buckran in the back.
Yeah. Let's. Who's best at survival? And then can.
Here, I will throw the tokens down on the map in case anybody wants to just use them to make a marching order. Often helps.
I think, don't you have pass without a trace, Rydell?
I do.
Yeah.
It's a group thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it will last an hour.
Well, let's make the most of it. Once we get to the edge of the woods, well, why don't we start that? But for now, let's get there.
Oh, by the way, Rydell and Jamaria, we have something following us, I think, from yesterday, so keep your eyes peeled.
Oh, yes, of course. Inel speaks of the terrifying visage of that nondescript humanoid that was completely naked, holding what looked to be some sort of dark metal hook in its hand, thumbing the point of it that they had spied along the tree line the day prior, that disappeared with a shushing motion into the mists. They can only hope that that creature does not have some sort of long-term vendetta against the party, or at least, hopefully, has also a short memory. That is going to send you all off into the wilderness with your scout companion. I'm going to need survival checks and stealth checks from everybody.
Could I ask the scout a question first?
Yeah, of course.
How long do you think this... where we're going, how long do you think it'll take to get there?
Depending on complications, no more than half a day. Of course, once we get out into the woods, there's no telling what we might have to do in order to stay out of the way of patrolling trolls. That means that there might be quite a lot of sitting and waiting, or some wide circles that we must cut in order to remain unseen. I cannot make any guarantees, but should we be able to remain quiet enough, and he's going to narrow his eyes and glare at all 5 of you, we should be able to make it within hours. Unfortunately, if we are not stealthy enough, this may take upwards of the entire day. The last thing that I want to do is have a troll hot in our pursuit while we're trying to do recon of their encampment. Oh, that's going to be a critical failure on the on the survival check. 22 on the stealth, 14, 13, 15, 10.
It's actually like 19 for my stealth. I forgot to use my slippers.
Got it.
And I'm going to use Blessing of the Trickster. I'm going to give the scout advantage on stealth for an hour.
Okay, got it.
Do my religion check for my prayer beads of malice.
Got it. Who are you naming with your prayer beads?
Oh, the first troll I see.
Unfortunately, they have to have a name. Without a proper name, you cannot use those prayer beads to gain the necessary advantage.
Do we know the leader of the troll's name? We don't, right?
Not yet.
We don't.
That has so far been a secret.
All right, then. Never mind.
Got it. From there, 9, 17...
Please use path to that race. Please.
The stealth checks seem to be generally favorable, and the survival checks are generally favorable as well. The scout is going to add a certain amount of bonus to all of this. I do need to take into account a few things, like the variance for that failed survival check, which it looks like in this case is merely going to cost all of you time. That failed survival check on behalf of Jamira, the bard, is going to result in basically the panic over what they believe to be fresh tracks and not wanting to take any chances. The party is going to end up having to swing wide around what they fear to be a patrol of perimeter guards, and in doing so add miles and miles to their journey. This is going to be just enough to basically bring you around to the other side of the encampment rather than the near side. You will be looping to the far side when you arrive, and you will be getting there slightly after midday. Your scout friend Wesdrin is going to insist on going first and then giving you a small report as to what he sees before inviting any of the rest of you to approach with him. How do you all feel about this plan?
I think it's a good plan. Let's give him what blessings we can, and we'll set up a rope trick here while we wait for him.
Okay.
And I'll use, I assume an hour has passed, so I'll use Blessing of the Trickster again to give him advantage on stealth.
Alright. That will certainly aid him as he moves forward. Wesdrin has a couple rolls to make. Man, that advantage is really going to pay off. Wesdrin is going to return sometime later, but I am going to need the party to make an encounter roll at this point. Not necessarily to face, like any given creature, but this is going to sort of determine the shape that you find this troll encampment in when Wesdrin reports back, as there are any number of states that this place could find themselves in. That's a 45. Okay, rolling for where the troll encampment finds itself. I am going to momentarily slide over to another map and get everything arranged, and then I will be bringing the party over. Wesdrin is going to return before nightfall as things are getting a little bit dimly, getting a little bit more dimly lit. The fog in the low valley does a lot to add an additional layer of darkness to everything, even as it's only 4-5 p.m. at this point, and the sun doesn't go down for several more hours. The late day shade caused by the cliffs and the treetop canopy will make it feel as if you're further along in the day than you actually are. Wesdrin's report is going to be one that is both thorough enough to be perhaps inspiring in terms of, it's going to give you tactical options to consider here, but it is also going to come with the initial report that even just judging by the head count that he offers, it sounds like the encampment has expanded since the Guild of Mazes last did battle with it or had a chance to sort of observe what had gone on. All right.
Did you I'm just gonna grab Wesrin and say, just by the way, did you see a troll with a dagger scar on his face?
Wesdrin will say that there were a few with pretty thorough battle scars. I do not know the one of which you speak.
In case anybody's
Don't worry, I will.
Now I'm going to be shifting the players over to the troll map. Let's get this going.
I'll ask him if he saw any troll that looked like it could have been the leader of the band. Is there
Right.
a particularly large tent or something that would...
So, I'll snap to center one more time for everybody. Hopefully that'll let me know if you're having trouble finding the center of this new map where the troll encampment is. And Wesdrin is going to start giving kind of a breakdown of what he saw using, basically sticks and stones drawn in the dirt to illustrate troll positions and tent positions to give you all effectively, even though you're some, couple miles away, a crude, map of what this is and what is going on here. So to also break it down for the stream, he says to the south, it looks like they have managed to increase the wall here by a pretty great amount, and it looks like they've done some to clear away the brush and small trees, making it a much more open approach and much harder to do unseen. Meanwhile, it looks like they have also set up a couple of guard towers. Even though they are kind of basically just crude A-frames of logs tied together, they serve as hunters posts for what are now trolls, and this is a first for you, but with massive longbows that look like they are strung with, as the scout says rather bleakly, they look like they're strung with the guts of a wyvern. And then from there, he is going to talk about how to the west of the camp proper, while there is no wall on this side, it seems that this is where that they are busy felling all of the local trees in order to create these fortifications. So, as there is no wall over here, there is little in terms of concealment, and there is also a high presence of trolls moving in and out of the area, laboring, pulling trees from the ground and chopping down larger ones. There is, of course, also over here another guard post towards the northern approach. I'm going to reveal a little bit more of the forest here, as you would have gotten a better description of that. There are trees up here that go all the way up to the actual wall itself. Your scout, Wesdrin, notes that they did not, it looks like, get a chance to clear away the brush on this side of the wall, as they don't seem to probably be expecting any sort of attack from the north at this time. And then over here, kind of drawing us now down towards the this area of the map, we are going to see that there are a few trolls here kind of protecting the eastern entrance that seems to have a little bit of a beaten path formed in the grass, as it looks like this is the one that is most frequented by the trolls coming and going, returning from the camp. Wesdrin is going to report that it seems like this tree here, I'm going to make sure the stream can see, I'm going to zoom this in. It looks like this tree right here has at its base several large stones. Whoop. They appear to be about the size of 2 or 3 people and probably weigh several hundred pounds, if not upwards of or if not close to a ton. But he cannot help but notice that they appear to be situated around this particularly large and dead tree in a manner that does not look natural. It seems as if they have been moved there. And then further yet still, and there goes some of the dice. Over yet here, we find that next to the trees that the trolls were busy digging from the ground, there are also what look to be large holes in just the earth and stone where there have been excavation of some kind, though what, Wesdrin is unsure. Based on the tents, he is fairly confident that this tent right here contains the leader of the trolls, while this larger, almost kind of lodge-style tent to the west of it is likely where they are storing something of great importance, as he noticed in his observation that it looks like only specific trolls are allowed to come and go from this tent, and the rest of it kind of give it a wide berth. Then the only other thing that he is going to be able to report that seems of particular note is that he believes that this tent over here to the far center, sorry, I'm getting a little bit of, there we go. This tent is likely where there is some sort of either magic or spellcaster or something of some kind, as Wesdrin says that even in his couple hours of observation, there seemed to be some sort of flashing lights emerging from it occasionally, and then at one point a troll emerged who was covered in what looked to be bones fitted together into armor of some kind, as well as clutching a staff to which there were tied many leather straps and bits and pieces of stone and scrimshaw carvings into various fetishes, and by all accounts, though he is not a magic user, Wesdrin is willing to wager that this creature is likely some sort of troll, like sage or shaman. Likely not as potent as one more formally trained in the ways of the primary goddesses, but still like a ranger or druid, probably capable of evoking natural magic from the actual spirit of the land itself. Trolls, despite their savagery, do have a faint connection to the Fey realm that is tied deeply into their bloodline, Wesdrin says. And this does not surprise me. Now, we have a problem. While this is, for the moment, a good assessment of their camp and the goings-on, this does not provide us with the necessary information regarding what the Cloud Forge is looking for. We need information on their leader, specific information. We need more of a trajectory for their forces than just the fact that they are amassing here. We will want to catch them out of step if the Cloud Forge or the guards are to mount any sort of formal assault against these creatures. We will want to make sure that we are not attacking them here. I do not feel comfortable leaving until we have acquired such information. I now
Do you
put
have-
into your hands, how do you suggest, with aid of your magic and skill sets, that we might acquire this unknown piece?
Wesdrum, do you believe, after your observation, do you believe that there's going into the encampment would possibly providing this information? I myself am not stealthy, nor our party is very much, but I'm able to assist greatly with your stealth.
We may be able to learn something. I am not overly familiar with the language of the troll, which means that likely, if I were able to enter into their perimeter and seclude myself amongst their tents, even for the evening, I would likely learn little more than to which one they owe their fealty and to whom they are also most afraid.
Let me check my. I'm gonna check if I can do something about that.
We could attempt to abduct one, but this is dangerous, and there is no telling, without further reconnaissance, that the one we choose to abduct would have any further information. I would nominate one of those who sits atop the scout towers with longbow in hand. Any one of those that we can take from their number will prove I'm trying to think of the right word here, but indispensable to our forces. Those arrows are likely capable of putting even a seasoned warrior down at 100 yards.
Then, you think we could burn the towers easily?
The wood is fresh and kept damp by the pools from which fog and steam rise on the daily. We certainly could set fire to the towers, but without accelerant or some sort of massive blaze to start them, they would likely not take fast enough in order to concern these trolls. And as you know, they do not fear fire. In fact, I have reason to believe from my observation that they are using it as a tool in some cases. It looks as if someone has taught them to cook their meat.
Would you feel comfortable venturing further into this encampment and trying to see what you can observe, or even try to get the attention of one of these scouts and lead them away?
I feel that leading one of the scouts away could easily be accomplished. However, the question is whether or not more come looking for them, or they decide not to come out one at a time. While we could easily, I imagine, ambush a single troll and silence it before it had a chance to raise an alarm, even with the 6 of us here and our arrows and steel combined, I think that they would likely be able to throw out cry or scream for help. The lungs on those creatures are enough to draw attention for almost a mile around should they bellow loud enough.
For sure, I have a question.
Yes?
Would using reduce on creature make them more stealthy?
It would, in the event that you were able to reduce them from halved in all dimensions. So it does if you take them from medium to small, whereas if you take them from large to medium, it just gets rid of penalties.
All right. What race is Western?
Western appears, by all accounts, to be mostly human in heritage. However, what with the fact that they've had their cloak up most of the day, it's hard to tell if they might have the telltale points to their elven ears, or perhaps some scale on their neck, or otherwise, like glowing veins underneath a particular section of muscle that would indicate tiefling or Aasimar, or even maybe, like faint Genasi heritage or anything like that. So, human is your best guess.
So it's medium.
Yeah, we're all medium. If we could get close enough, could we put a rope trick up and listen that way? They speak giant, right? Anel, you understand them?
I don't speak giant. A friend of mine did.
Awkward.
I know Abyssal and Infernal. Probably not going to be useful.
Wesdrin, is there, out of all of the scout towers you've seen, is there any of them that seem more isolated or, more isolated than the others?
The ones that are more isolated than the others, he says, it's about an even gamble. Here, he is going to kind of illuminate / trace out a little bit more of the surrounding area as I wait for my reveal tool to... There we go. Awesome. Boom, boom, boom. So, you have here only one troll guarding... I'm going to zoom in for this stream so they can also see what I'm talking about. We have one troll, and also center you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. One troll here, and then to the north, slightly, one troll here. Oh, that token just got shifted off the tower.
Were you able to tell how tall these scout towers are?
The scout towers are approximately about 25 feet tall. They are fairly large. They tower over everything else in the camp, with the exception of the great tree around which those stone monoliths have been gathered, meaning that the scouts can see almost everywhere except sort of like directly on the other side of the walls in some cases. However, we've got, with these two scouts here isolated and closer, and further away from the center mass, either one of them might be easier to lure. However, to the north here, these two are likely to be easier to pull away from the rest of them without attracting additional attention should our efforts go sour. I imagine that they, having two to that guard post, would likely leave one and then send the other one out to go investigate. Should we be able to draw the first one close enough to us or further enough away from their encampment, we should be able to silence them effectively, and then when the other comes to investigate, also silence them. My fear with the two to the south is that while they are isolated individually, there are more patrols of their hunting scrags, the small, more agile, almost more bloodthirsty versions of the trolls that patrol these south walls here. So it's a gamble. Do we mess with the patrols and hopefully only attract the attention of a single troll at a time, or do we go where the patrols are less frequent, but will likely also have the prying eyes of another sentry? That is a decision I leave up to you as well.
I have another question, just to be sure. You didn't see any bodies outside of the camp, did you?
There is evidence of a few skirmishes here and there around the camp. Some of them I think were orcish, some of them hobgoblin, judging by the scraps and weapons left behind. However, to the south, it looks like there were a few killed, likely maybe about a week ago.
Did you see the body of smallest dwarvish kind of body?
There were no bodies to the south, only remnants of the battle.
Damn, that means they got him. Because when we got here, I saw two of my friends die. One died on the way out, and one of them.
Remains.
What?
Let's go find Fia's remains and see if she has any of that stuff.
The thing is, I think they got rid. The thing is, I don't think they could eat the. It's already eaten the body, but their equipment will be actually nice. One of them had the holy potion, and one of them had a nice battle axe or sword, if I remember. It could be useful, but
Each, right? Since we were here.
There's a good chance that the party's equipment has been either absorbed into the equipment of the trolls or has been stashed somewhere in, either a loot pile or some chest or traded away for even yet more gold that the players might find. So there is a good chance that you might find remnants of previous characters sort of scattered throughout the, both camp and area around it. But
you didn't see any gold or loot stash anyways, Wesdrin.
Wesdrin says no. Based on the way that the trolls were coming and going, I think likely their treasure or their bounty from these raids is being stored inside of their chieftain's tent. The only question is whether or not their chieftain is here, or whether or not this is just a remote forward base. These are the questions I seek to answer before I return.
Go ahead.
How long do you think luring one away would take? I could make you and all of us very hard to be detected and tracked for an hour, but after that, we'd be on our own.
Likely an hour would be sufficient. However, it depends upon whether or not we can successfully set the hook and have appropriate bait. We need to attract the attention of one of them without attracting the attention of all of them.
Yes.
For Scribe, can I remember what the last potion that was it, that the cleric gave us? The one that could heal or arm?
Oh, you mean the potion? Are you talking about the one that you just got last session?
No, the other one. The first that we got.
Oh, that
one.
That potion you would not. I mean, that's something that I guess yeah. You would. Let me go ahead and give me an intelligence roll.
Go all right.
So with that 10, you are going to remember of its existence and, of those very properties, but you're not going to be able to recall anything more specific about it.
Then, because I remember that a nice potion that could hurt them badly if we use it, but I can't remember exactly what it did. I just remember that it could hurt someone or heal someone. Sorry, guys. It's been a... Remembering this place is really rough on me. I'm just gonna sit.
Can't one of us do pass without a trace, sneak into the tent, find out what's in there, and then come back without being seen? And it's set up a portal just in case we can port him out if he needs to.
Oh, that's a good idea. We'll set up a portal and we'll send in
I think
a trace.
I think the portal might make too much of a commotion.
It's actually it's pretty silencious. It's on one of us, right?
Yeah.
But there's a sound when you.
The beacon is centered around like one of you once it's activated. There certainly is obviously like a magical display that goes off once the beacon ritual is completed, but then after that you can kind of keep it going rather nondescriptly. There's sort of a soft glow to anybody who is currently has their beacon active for those who are paying attention, but more or less you would also, because there's no distance, I mean the commotion that the beacon would cause is pretty negligible. The real question at hand is just that if someone gets recalled, then whoever it is that gets recalled is going to be sick for an hour. So there's that is not an insubstantial tactical hurdle to overcome.
But they won't be dead.
But they won't be dead. This is absolutely true. They'll just wish they were.
I have +3 stealth with my slippers. What?
Minor illusion. It would be useful if, distracting.
Yeah, maybe.
Do we want to send the bard in then?
I don't think it. How much do you have in?
I don't have minor illusion.
The cleric will have to be the one to go in at the very least if they have to carry the pass with them. But I think we can just as well send 3.
I think we can get one person in and out of there without even being detected, without even being noticed.
I think I should go there because I know what I'm looking for, but I will need a Chidel too. Rydell, I mean.
I have a question about Pass Without Trace for Scribe. It says I can use it on anyone within 30 feet. Do they have to remain 30 feet, or could I use it and then if they would be able to keep that effect even if they go out of sight?
So, I believe, and I'm going to double check this really fast, but because the range is 30 feet, that does mean, as Bakran was hinting at, you have to remain within a certain amount of distance to them, but I'm double checking that right now. Yeah, a veil of shadows radiates from you, masking your companions. For the duration, you choose within 30 feet of you. Yep. So the way that is worded, you are going to have to go with if you want that pass without trace to be effective.
Okay.
Rydell, I think we should. Both of us should go, and Gale or Bakran or Jamira put a beacon.
I could also. I have the ability to create a duplicate of myself that, as long as I'm within around 120 feet of them, I can kind of move through them and act through them. So could potentially use that as distracting.
Yes, I like it. If Gale wants to go with, he can make darkness, and that can aid in your escape.
Alright, but if Gale is going, I'm not going because I don't think we should be too much people in there. We should send maximum 2
Darkness
people.
Darkness around us. It'll be kind of, because it's the middle of the day. Won't that kind of add a beacon to us if we're surrounded?
Yeah.
And
you only would use it if you've been seen.
I think he's thinking of it like Squid Ink. You know what I mean? Just sort of.
If we're doing Pass Without a Trace, why does more than one person need to go in? If there's a Pass Without a Trace.
Because I have to use it, and in order for the effect to work, I have to be within 30 feet of whoever is.
And they don't trust the cleric alone to be stealthy enough.
I know.
Right?
D&D, you don't send people in alone.
Yeah. You're stronger together. You're always stronger together.
We're always quieter by ourselves.
Not with you. I don't, because my idea, if we're multiple people, we can grab some things and go out. But if we're too much people, we get some attention. So 2 people plus the scout should be enough.
I'm not going into the troll camp.
The best I can do.
If they see us.
All right. Rydell
I mean-
and I will go if you're okay with that.
The best I can do, if I do not go, is give someone advantage on stealth.
I can give someone like a bardic inspiration.
Yeah, definitely hand out the bard inspiration for sure.
Give it to Rydell. Should be enough if we Western go on his way. We go on our way. We should be good enough. And we call us as if you can begin the ritual for the portal. Actually, is the one that you did this morning still up? I know you slept.
No, yeah, that portal is gone.
Just make another.
I'll prepare the portal.
Thank you, Gail.
Is the blessing of the trickster concentration?
No.
Nice.
You're ready, Rydell?
So, are we trying to bait? How are we baiting one of these scouts?
I think we should. Western can bait them with sneakily while we go. Puff that rate and take what we can. Because I can transcribe some giant in my notebooks and just go back to Bulgarian landing and translate it later with some help.
All right.
I'm not sure. In order for Western to be able to kind of bait someone, I think they would have to go in further than 30 feet away from me, as I'm not very stealthy. So I'm not sure if it's beneficial for me to go in at all, rather than just give my advantage.
Let's infiltrate the main tent for now. And I think that's the better plan. But if you guys want to,
Yes. We
Yeah,
can send Western in with advantage and all the blessings we can give first.
If we don't do
Yeah,
the
okay.
portal and we can get in and out without them knowing it, that's what I think we should do.
The thing is, Wendell cannot teleport out if he is.
don't send in the scout. He can't teleport out. We should send our cleric and someone else into the main camp to see what they can pilfer in terms of information or items, and then have them teleport out.
Maybe I can call the.
Trace on me.
And the bard's gonna be the stealthiest.
I have +3 to stealth. What do you have, Maria?
+3 as well.
I have plus.
Wait, I can give me my slippers, so you got +2 or +4, right?
Yeah, you can give those slippers up to somebody.
Vidal, I'm gonna get my slippers and say, "Here you go. It's gonna help you be more stealthy." But bring them back. What?
Bardic inspiration, right? Oh.
Alright.
Good idea.
So, you want me to go into the main tent with the scout?
With the with
You don't
the
have to scout. The
with Zimara.
The bard, the cleric, and that's the new raiding team you're thinking, or not raiding team, but recon team.
No scout.
Yeah.
Wait, right, Al, you're a bard?
I'm not. I'm
You are the board.
a cranky cleric.
So
Do we need something out of that tent besides information?
Not necessarily.
if you find a shiny warhammer, that would be nice, but don't risk your life for it.
I'm gonna ask Wesdrin.
Into the camp, into the leader's tent. So, I mean, are we risking our life?
Aren't we always risking our lives? We work for the Guild of Mazes.
Well,
I think
I'm
this
out here 100 feet away, hiding in the woods, and creating a little beacon for you guys. I just don't understand why more than one of us needs to go.
Just because the strength in number. Trust me. Last time we said.
Okay, go ahead. Good.
Yeah.
I'll have a beacon ready for you.
Thank you, Gail. I'm gonna tell you something. One of the people I was with the first time we came here decided to recon alone. He didn't make it. I did because I hid. And you're the one who got out because she ran as fast as she could. Only
All right.
us.
So, just to double check, so we're not trying to capture someone?
Not
I
for
think
now.
the plan, from what I've gathered, is this: you're going to attempt to get information first, and then after you've successfully gotten information and gotten out, then you theoretically wouldn't need to capture that person for information. And then should you go in and be unable to get said info, you will then resort to trying to capture somebody after the fact.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask Wesdrin. You said you saw some flashes of light coming from this very tent we're about to go into?
Different one. The flashes of light came from the tent. One moment, I'm going to highlight on the map. The flashes of light came from this tent here, toward the eastern perimeter. The one that looks newer. Its construction likely in the last few days. Meanwhile, I suspect their leader is holed up in this central one. However, the question is whether or not the leader is just local or the troll that we seek.
I think there's no way we get in there to the center of the camp without being spotted, honestly. I mean, there's like
a trace. You don't think somebody in and out of there if they have passed without a trace on?
It certainly helps the odds, but the question becomes: I mean, who's feeling daring enough to chance it?
I have a plus, so it would be pass without trace, which is plus 10. I could give whoever comes with me advantage on stealth, but I myself am not very stealthy.
Got plus 12 with my slippers, so that's pretty good.
All right.
I mean, it wouldn't be that entertaining if we play it safe.
We can try it. How long does it take to use the beacon?
I mean, it's basically just an action. You can just go.
Ready now.
Okay, I'm going to ask Wesdrin.
Spot in the woods for Gale to set up the beacon, and then you two make what preparations you need to.
I'm going to ask Wesdrin, is there any entry point you think would be the safest or least surrounded?
Likely, based on the patrol. Coming in from the northwest is probably our best approach. It seems like there's the fewest trolls in presence, as the eastern approach seems to be what they consider to be their main gate. This does mean, however, we will have to go by the watchtower that the two trolls are currently sitting atop.
I can make a distraction.
Should we be able to successfully get them even out of the picture momentarily, the path forward becomes rather clear. Of course, should that distraction go wrong, he's going to look at you, Inel. That does mean that you will likely have your escape route cut off. But I understand that that is why we're sending those of you who can magically return instead of myself. For which I do say, thank you.
Yeah. Me and Gale will go, and Western will go out into the woods and set up the beacon. And now you will create the distraction, and through returning to us or rope trick, make your escape. And the other two will do what they can to sneak in. If anybody fails with their task, they'll teleport out.
Yeah, I'm thinking of using prestidigitation just to make some light effect to have his intention, and maybe he won't see you when you pass.
All right.
Do
So
you think 100 feet outside the gate in the woods is far enough away?
Let's we can go as far as we need. Let's go find a secluded spot, perhaps underneath a hill or cover of bushes or a fallen log. Who knows what we'll find.
Perfect.
all right. You are so the whole party is going to advance, and then at what point are they going to split off? So I do need a distance on how far away from the encampment the rest of the party is going to be waiting with the beacon.
How far are we from the camp now?
I was giving you Wesdrin had you wait about a mile and a half out, just to avoid any patrols or complications should his scouting go awry.
This is a good spot right here.
Why don't we could, I think just waiting here, like, it doesn't matter the distance right?
Sure.
We can wait here for it.
Just clarifying. So you'll wait there. Your companions will approach. I'm going to go ahead and grab their tokens and throw them down on the edge of the wooded perimeter, and we can start getting into this. I'm also going to really quickly roll some randomizing dice and shuffle around the trolls that are on the board, as it will have been a little bit of time since the party basically, since Wesdrin scouted, returned to the party then discussed this, obviously, almost over the course of a half hour, and then returning to the camp, which means that these trolls will kind of be in a further state of their daily motion.
I'm going to go with the scout for the scouting mission, and wait like 130 feet from the camp.
Okay.
Split it up from there, so I get at least the first the pass without trace for my first stealth roll.
Got it. One moment. I'm also going to reveal the wilderness north of the camp there so that everyone can get a better idea of what they will be approaching through. As let's see here, that is one in El Nacera, starting at the edge of the visibility, and then we've got one Jamira Garin, and then last but not least, Rydell Kadasser. Cool. For your information, the land that is behind you is basically just nondescript forest. It doesn't have any particular hills or valleys. It's basically just the same sort of pineland and semi-deciduous forest behind you that is in front of you. So I'm just starting you from there for the time being. There's not anything that I'm concealing from that distance. Now, before you spans about, I think, what is that? About 400 feet? 300 feet? Oh, no, only 150. So about 150 feet away, over the tops of the trees, you can see this scout right here, sitting, sort of dangling their legs over the side of the post as they kind of idly thumb the tips of their arrows, inspecting them, kind of doing the old look down the shaft to make sure that it's straight before returning it to the quiver on their back. They don't seem to be particularly alert at this moment. It is about 5:30, so you only have about maybe 3-4 hours of daylight left, and the sky is starting to take on a yellow orangish hue as the sun is starting to dip, and the already long shadows of the stone walls of this valley are starting to intensify. You still have effectively good light for now, but just so that you're aware, should you remain here in this camp for an extended period of time, you may find yourselves fleeing through the underbrush in twilight. Now, I'm going to continue to shuffle a few of these trolls around as per what I was talking about with the randomizing.
Just since, we're trying to be stealthy here.
Yeah. Um, I have my plan to give you like a couple minutes of free time.
What's your plan?
I'm gonna use my minor conjuration to make a glowing cube and throw it 60 feet from me, so maybe he would see it and you will be out of his vision.
First, Greg, how tall are the scout towers taller than these walls?
Yes, the scout towers are taller than those walls by a good about 5 feet. And then, plus the trolls being large creatures, they themselves then add about another, 5-8 feet on top of that. So the trolls' eyes are effectively peering down from a little over a 30-foot vantage point.
Okay.
So you're doing your thing to make us stealthy for a bit.
Yeah, I'll cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay. Casting Pass Without Trace. We now have our companions beginning to basically watch as their cleric works ritual in a manner that is slightly different than anything they've ever seen before. And you are waiting to hear the invocation of some goddess's name, but it doesn't really happen in the same way that most of the clerics that you've seen sort of have these much more grandiose ways of invoking a goddess's power. There's something subtle to the way that this cleric does magic that makes you wonder if they are even a cleric at all, and if these are not perhaps just arcane manifestations of some kind, just cloaked in the guise of the radiant displays of clerical magic. That being said, you are still then going to feel the effects nonetheless as you watch your skin and equipment become semi-translucent and your companions almost like blur entirely up against the fog and the foliage of the forest around them. Now, in full tilt's, essentially invisibility cloak, you are going to be able to advance towards the troll encampment. Everybody, you should have control over your tokens. Feel free to shift them to where you are going to begin your approach, basically. So where are you going to be hiding while you're waiting for Inel to make his distraction? And then Inel, where are you going to be making your distraction from? Go ahead and slide your tokens into that position. And we will see what happens. I'm not going to require any stealth checks, basically, until you all get within about 100 feet of the guard's tower. So you're all very safe where you are. Jamira, Inel, you're about 100 feet away right there, and as well, yeah. So that's basically the closest you can get without having to start testing your ability to stay hidden.
I'm gonna make a sign to the guys to say I'm gonna throw it right
right there. All right.
So they can go as fast as possible, so the troll doesn't see them when my cube is gonna glow.
1 second, and you're using prestidigitation specifically?
No, I'm using one of my abilities.
Okay, got it.
I'm using minor conjuration.
Got it. Oh, okay. So then let me double check on that just so that I don't accidentally miss any parts of that ruling.
I put it in the chat about.
Oh, thank you. There should be. I mean, there's no issue with that. Dim. Okay, dim light. Got it. That means that it certainly will be visible, and visible enough for the trolls to be basically able to spot it easily without it being something that you have to also then make a racket so that they look over here to see the shiny object.
I'm just gonna make a sign to Jamira to become closer to us because now they're too far away.
All right, those trolls are going to take notice, and it looks like based on their rolls, get the Okay, I'm on the
Jamira, come closer to.
They
us,
are going to send one of them down to investigate.
Reaper, can you move your character closer to us?
All right. Boom, boom. So that troll is going to get down and begin shifting forward to go investigate what's going on.
No, closer to us. To the tokens.
All right, so with that, I'm going to need now everyone to make stealth rolls, all of you, based on what's going on here, just because the troll is getting within range visually and is actively perceiving to try and both listen or spot anything that is in the area. So all of you at the moment, or sorry, no, I take that back. Jamira, based on your position, you will not have advantage, but the two of you back in the behind that tree back there will have advantage, as currently the troll is basically focused in this direction.
The thing is, Jamira, I don't think you understand what I said. Come closer to us, not to the trolls.
All right, so
I
either way,
have no idea where you are.
Okay, we're there, the blue thing.
I am going to still. All right, that's going to be.
No problem. I wasn't sure where we were going, so I just like before throwing my globe, I was like, "Come here! No, not there! Come here!"
All right, I am still going to enforce the two of you with advantage and Jameer without as
Advantage, not +10.
The plus 10 is going to be in effect as a result that because Jameer was not more than 30 feet away.
All right.
And
Hold on.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like yep. There we go. Stealth. Remember, you've got advantage. The two of you who are back there, Jamira. It looked like there was a little bit of complication. So, oh no!
that's 18.
Yeah, it's not because fortunately that advantage is going to keep that natural 1 at bay for the moment. And then that 30 stealth from Inel is not going to be too bad. Meanwhile, that 24 stealth from Jameer is also not going to be too bad. Now that I know what I'm going to try and what I have to beat, I'm going to roll for this troll here. Oh man, that 18 is going to be enough, but barely so. As this troll begins to wander forward, oblivious to the presence of the party, heading towards where it believes this glowing object is coming from. And as it gets to about here, and it can spot the object through the bushes, you're going to hear it give out some sort of cry. Do the three of you, none of you speak giant at the moment, correct?
Nope.
Okay, so with that, you will hear it give out this this cry of some kind, and kind of this guttural and with that cry out, the other guard is going to get down off its post and begin kind of sidling towards your situation, while also then calling back to a couple of the others to sort of make sure that they're aware of its departure. And a couple of the smaller, like hunting scrag trolls are going to kind of gather over here by this area per its demand. And at this point, party, I mean, you're more than welcome to, like, based on these trolls' trajectory, they seem to be very distracted and unaware of your presence, but it does seem that the distraction worked maybe a little too well. And are sort of drawing the attention of the too many prying eyes. It's up to you if you want to still take this approach, obviously, as things are going to continue in a state of flux. Do you wait? Are you going to try and advance? Are you moving around to a different angle? What's the party doing?
First, I'm going to turn to Jamira. I'm going to bless him with Blessing of the Trickster, so advantage on stealth, and I'll say, You have to keep 30 feet from me or you die.
Alright,
Yes, you have magic stealth things.
change of plan. I'm coming with you.
Alright. You also need to stay within 30 feet of me or you die.
Trust me, I will.
So do we want to wait and see where these end up, or do we want to
Let's
head
go
over
there.
Let's wait till like a majority of them like pass our hiding spot, then go.
I think we should.
Yeah, I'm with NL on that plan, going the opposite direction of where they're going.
Yeah, let's.
Oh yeah,
I
that's a
think,
good idea.
I think we should go while they're walking, so there's less eyes to see us when we move.
Yeah, they go.
Okay. In your movement, then, go ahead and give me another stealth check at this point. This stealth check will be with advantage, as they are currently kind of concerned with something in a different direction, and you are all basically behind several, like, either bushes or trees or, you know, lots of... Oh, man!
Oh, did that?
Woo! All right.
14.
14. Oh no, wouldn't it be 17? Don't you have plus? Oh, but one of you don't have your slippers, so it'd be 16, right?
All right. No, because it's 2 plus 4 plus 2 though. It's plus 10 though. It's 14, not 16.
Oh, you've already got the. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, 14. Noted. Everybody else, go ahead and, or not everybody else, but Dim, go ahead and give, aka Jamira, you've got advantage on that if you want. I mean, obviously, a 27's not bad, but who knows? You might want to see how far you can take that into the stratosphere of amazing stealth checks. Now, as you continue to move in that direction, I'm going to go ahead and shift the party over. I believe it was here that you were looking for, basically.
Yeah.
Amidst those bushes and that tree. While that is happening, the trolls are going to continue to shift. The two guards are the ones with the bows will have made it over to Inel's conjuration, and they're going to just kind of be looking at it curiously. You can hear, even at this distance, they're kind of muttering these guttural exchanges, and it sounds as if they're almost kind of in a jocular manner, like begging or daring each other to try and touch whatever this glowing box is, as they are, waiting for more of their kin to arrive. The scrags are going to continue moving up through the brush, and it looks like there is, and your blood is going to stand still. One of the larger armored trolls bearing what looks to be almost the size of a greatsword in one hand is going to have had their attention pulled at this point and is walking away from the worksite of the trees. Speaking of which, I'm also going to fill out your map a little bit more as you've now moved position and you'd have better visibility of that situation. So I'll zoom out so the stream can see. As you can now see clearly, there is a little bit of high ground over here to the left of your position. And there is also, or I guess it would be your right because you're facing south, but there also seems to be kind of like this is where the end of that clear cutting operation is. So there are still a small band of trees that do encircle the entire encampment. One moment. Then from there, I need to make the perception checks on the scrags, the scouts, and this one armored troll. The scouts are going to... Okay, noted. One of them is going to hear Inel, but not spot him. And so, though there will not be an immediate alarm sent up, you're going to see one of them begin to kind of peel away and start to head into this direction. Inel, basically, they were able to beat your stealth by 1, so they don't even know that you're there right now. They heard a noise and they're going to check it out. Meanwhile, it looks like all of the ones down... Okay, that's really interesting. Hold on. One of them just rolled a natural 20, but the other one also rolled a critical failure. So we're going to see if this cancels itself out here. Okay, yeah, with the critical failure, it looks like one of the scrags is going to just catch like this scent in the air. As you can see, they're almost like they're a much more feral creature than the fully grown trolls, as they just have their noses pressed to the ground and they're just pawing through the wet grass and almost kind of mud-like soil, looking for any signs of interlopers or fresh meat nearby that they might be able to hunt and attack. So the scrags are basically going to move up and then, in reflection of the die rolls, kind of start arguing really quick about the possible direction of where this noise or these intruders might be. And they're going to get kind of locked up in that discussion, while one of them is going to insist, basically pointing over at the other one's shoulder, that they are right over there. The other little one is going to be so much louder and more ferocious and over talking of the other one that none of them are around or really going to pay any attention or listen to this exchange between the two. And then last but not least, it looks like for the time being the party is going to be relatively safe, as that armored troll does not seem to be aware of their presence and is also idly now heading over towards where the rest of his companions are, leaving the party really a free, not free, but at least a path ahead of them to get closer to the camp without any trolls ahead of them. And also with a troll now slightly on their trail, what are you going to do?
I still have one of those cubes. Can do one other of those cubes, so I think I'm going to... I'll talk to my companions, throw it there, and we go.
One of them is... Or no, I wouldn't know that, never mind.
Wait, he smelled me, right?
Yeah, one of them smelled you and started pointing at you, and you were almost ready to just call it then, but then the other one started arguing with it so readily. And
Can I use prestidigitation to change my smell, because it cleans me?
I would allow you to use prestidigitation to attempt that. However, I would caution you that unless I've forgotten... prestidigitation has verbal and somatic components, meaning that you would have to, say words and move your hands around. So I would take a sleight of hand from you in order to conceal your spell casting.
So I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no. I think we're good. Do you want to hold on to the distraction and need it later?
I have as many cubes as I want, actually.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you're going to throw up a cube?
I'm going to ask my companions if they think this is a good idea. I'm going to try another cube.
I don't want to get any more attention to our current location. I think we're all right for now.
All right, so I don't try a cube.
All right, highlight on the map where you're headed next, and we will play this out as the party is creeping into this troll encampment ever so slowly, but who knows what you might be able to learn or come away with in terms of both knowledge and wealth, should you manage to actually pull this off.
All right, let's go.
You want to go here?
Yeah, good idea. Are you moving us, or are we moving
you can go ahead and move yourselves. I moved you last time just because you were all in a group, and it made sense. But so if you're shifting down to there, that is going to be enough. based on... Let me take a look here. Yeah, so I wouldn't make you roll a stealth check for that if it were not for the fact that there is one of the trackers who is kind of looking for you right now. Otherwise, you would have been able to make that shift without really drawing any attention to yourselves. So
Pass with that trace, we don't have any tracks whatsoever.
No, he was investigating a noise, though, is the thing.
Yeah.
So that is going to...
I know the bard has advantage, but do we have advantage still?
Everyone is going to continue to have advantage for the moment, as there is kind of just a very passive energy to the way these trolls are searching. Ooh, but that advantage is not gonna cut it looks like. It is a 17 with the 5, and then I'm looking at Dim, and then Inel. Alright, that's a nice roll. So we will wait to see the results of this troll's perception check, as it looks like Jasir is still within... Or sorry, not Jasir, but Rydell is still within, I'm going to call it striking distance in terms of their perception, as this troll here is still going to have a chance to spot them. Is he going to be successful? We will find out after the break. As those of you who might be unfamiliar with this format, we take a small 10-minute break approximately around this time at the 2-hour mark, about halfway through the night, so that I may replenish my tea and my water, as well as, the rest of our contestants might acquire any necessary nourishment or health potions or mana supplements necessary. And when we return, we will see whether or not this troll is going to spot them and potentially create havoc, or if they're going to be able to continue to sneak ever so delicately into this base. Past that, I would just remind anyone who's come into the channel in this time...
I'm on, so you think you can quest.
Indeed. Yep. Anybody who has come into this channel, you are watching not only a game of Dungeons and Dragons play out, but a game show in which the death is real and so are the prizes, as well as our adventurers are helping fundraise for rotating charities. So you are watching them actively strive and use all of their wits and resources to help aid a real cause in our world. So with that, I hope you give them all the patience and love and support that they deserve, and we will be back after the break. Thank you very much. Hello. If you're watching this, chances are you're not joining us live on Sundays or Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, when you could be a part of the action as a contestant or a fan, as we now have prizes that we're giving away to even those who are not competing as mighty heroes, but who are instead our mighty fans in the Twitch chat live at the end of the night, and perhaps later on throughout the night as well. You'll have to stay tuned to find out who wins this prize and who walks away with a precious stone, but for now, enjoy the second half of this episode. we are back, everybody. Thank you very much. We had a small technical error during the break, so I had to get that resolved. But past that, we are getting right back into the tense questing action as our players are attempting to make some sort of progress into this camp while being able to avoid the trolls that are both patrolling it and also trolling for any sort of intruder. Sorry, I couldn't help myself on that one. Now, that means looking at the camp, making sure I've got everything shifted. Nobody else is really attracted to the, distraction that has been going on here. It's some maybe 50, 75 feet north of the wall, as there is a curious glowing cube created by our conjuration specialist wizard, and though none of the trolls have given any sort of outcry as to foul play, they are all kind of confused as to how it might have gotten there. One of them has managed to, due to ill fortune on behalf of the party, but also due to a rather good series of checks on its behalf, managed to hear them moving about in the underbrush, despite the fact that they currently have a Pass Without Trace spell active on the three of them. So, while they are quite stealthy, there is a deadly cat and mouse game afoot, as one of these many trolls could roll very, very high and spot them at a moment's notice. Without further ado, I will bring us back to the game itself. I think all of our players are here. Of course, a portion of the party is sitting idly by, watching as our companions risk their lives nearby with a teleportation beacon ready to warp them out should they run into trouble. But if they do not manage to get any additional information and have already alerted the trolls to the presence of potential interlopers, then they may have done more harm than good with this incursion, so they do have a bit of a cut bait issue to worry about. So, without further ado, Jamira, Inel, and Rydell, that means we are getting back to the result of that troll's fateful perception check and whether or not he spotted you in your transition from hiding locations. And it seems like the troll is not going to manage to spot you. You beat his check by 2 points. Congratulations.
Oh my god, yeah.
That does mean, however, that this troll is not going to readily give up the idea that there might be something out here and stop searching entirely. It is just going to represent the fact that you have managed to, for the time being, give this rather dim-witted soldier the slip, and it is going to begin heading uphill towards the higher ground, either because it thinks that is where you are located, or perhaps it has a different plan in mind, but it doesn't seem to know where you currently are, or that you have changed positions. Now, that brings... Yes?
While every troll is looking away, do I still need to do a sleight of hand check to cast a spell?
Where you are currently right now... Yes, mostly not because, and this won't be because of the idea that you might be heard casting. It's more the fact that magic always has sort of this component to it of crackling energy and flashing light. So the sleight of hand would be more to time it to make sure that no one is looking at you, because casting a spell takes about 6 seconds in real time, meaning that while no one is looking at you when you start that spell, someone might be looking at you by the end of it, and you need to be able to kind of cleverly conceal that. Because there are people actively looking around and any flash of light might attract attention, that is going to require a sleight of hand check in order to pull off.
Alright, so never mind.
I would, however, grant you advantage given the circumstances.
Not worth it for now.
Okay. Oh, that's good tea. Now, I should get them to sponsor us soon. Now, Jamira, Inel, Rydell, as you have a moment of peace, are you going to venture further in, or are you going to wait and see as the Scrags continue to patrol about and more trolls, return to their daily business of felling trees and not kind of like looking around and scratching their heads and wondering what exactly is going on?
They're beginning to come back. I have a plan if they do it. All right.
What's the plan?
I'm gonna use my unseen servant with my observation cube. Instead of a cube, I'm gonna make a helmet. I'm gonna put the helmet on my unseen servant and say "run" to my unseen servant.
Okay.
Wait, now they're beginning to come back.
So, are you... Your conjuration cube, because that's sort of an act of will, and I don't believe anywhere in the rules it says that there are verbal or somatic components in order to execute that. That you can do easily, but that unseen servant...
As verbal, I know.
Yep. So, go ahead.
Wait, I'm just saying, my companion.
Okay, so you're just suggesting it. You're not actually doing it.
I'm trying to say, am I doing it now because, or should we do it when we are trying to go back to from? I think I should do it now because we can just teleport back anyway.
All right, if you think now's the time.
All right. Yeah, I'm doing it. Do I still have advantage on my sleight of hand?
You will still have advantage on the sleight of hand because you are also translucent, so that does mute the effects of what's going on. So it does. You are not entirely going to have to deal with what the effects would be if you were casting this without pass without trace. Ugh.
All right.
Go for your sleight of hand with advantage. Rough. So that does mean that you're just setting the DC for what this troll has to spot.
All right, 10 is already low.
However, trolls are also not known for their wisdom. That is also going to still be a 50% chance on the dice, and the troll is going to be able to spot the flash. Though dim and through a small amount of fog in the setting sun, it is, like its companion that headed up to the high ground moments ago, not necessarily going to immediately know that there must be 3 wizards hiding in the bush over there. And begin running at you, firing arrows. Instead, scratching its head, you'll see it kind of raise an eyebrow. And kind of call out to the nearby scrags who are going to begin kind of wandering over in that direction. So you're not completely without options here. Being still very, very invisible, not invisible, but translucent and hard to spot and near all of this foliage, the lot of you can still make stealth checks to get away. However, you will not be at advantage at this point because someone is more or less staring at your direct position. Are you going to move further into the area, or are you going to...
Wait, I still have Blessing of the Trickster, right?
Sorry, what?
I still have Blessing of the Trickster. You
still have Blessing of the Trickster, so you would have advantage in that case. I'm just saying that you won't have it naturally just from the circumstances. So the other thing worth noting is it looks like a couple of the scrags to the south of you are also beginning to move from their position, being kind of drawn towards the words of this lead hunter, so to speak. But that is going to not necessarily cause you any more problems, as they're not really looking in your direction. They're looking at him.
When they come...
Oh.
What?
I was going to say, let's see what the unseen servant does, and then...
Yeah, I was going to say, so your unseen servant goes off, however. Your sleight of hand does not mean that you are interrupted.
Yeah, and I use my conjure ability to make a helmet and put it on my unseen servant and say to it, "Run."
Which, okay, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and get a token down for that thing just so that we don't forget about it.
And he's got the glowing helmet on his head. You cannot see the servant. It's just a glowing helmet running.
I'm sure they've seen Stranger Things. No.
I mean, it's a good show. I hope they did.
Zing! All right.
Hey!
For those of you who are watching, keeping us on our toes. All right, I'll use the shooting star. I think that's a pretty good token to describe what's going on right now. And so your helmet attached to your unseen servant is going to come just streaking out of the bushes as fast as it can, moving over soil and root and rock rather effortlessly as it almost sort of glides across the landscape. That is going to create a distraction between the actual appearance of the light and then the strangeness of what it is. You're going to watch as all of the trolls kind of cast their vision in its direction and start heading that way, with the exception of, it looks like, as most of them are all kind of attracted to this motion and the light, and then also the sound of their other troll kin kind of calling out to them to draw attention to it, we are going to see as the one who is further up the hill kind of slinks out of view from the rest of you, and there's just something about the way that it disappears from sight. And it chooses to ignore the commotion that's going on below that just you make notice of. There's an almost sinister or purposeful way with which it then slides into the thick underbrush and away from view. That is going to, for the time being, though, leave you all in a better position to get further into the camp, as no one is looking in your direction right now.
Rydell, give me back my slippers. I'm staying here. It has to be to stay within 60 feet of me. I'm gonna give them the old chase.
Rydell, are you going to give up the slippers?
I'll say, I mean, they're yours, so if you want them, I'll give them back, but I think it'd be wise for me to keep them.
Alright, just go now. Just go now. I'm staying here. Good luck.
Okay.
I make my way and okay. Roll 20 is I'm experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties with roll 20. So can you guys move my token?
Yeah, sure. Where are you headed to? Or are you just following the cleric for the time being?
Yeah, I'm following the cleric. I can't see the map.
Right. Well, I mean, you also kind of have to in order for your to stay within the bounds of that pass without trace. So, Rydell, you'll be leading. Where are you headed?
How tall are these stumps?
They vary in heights. You are going to find that the average height of the, well, I'll point at some of them. So, like, these larger ones here are about 3 to 4 feet tall. These ones are closer to 2 feet, and then there's some of them that are even smaller, which are, like, closer to only about a foot and a half off the ground. These ones look like they would offer the best cover, as they're a little bit taller, but they're also a little narrower. So the lighter colored ones are a little bit wider than the darker colored ones at their base in terms of the, like, how much you could hide behind. Though these ones, wrong. These ones you could fit 2 people behind, this one you could not, whereas this one you could fit 2 people behind, and this one you could not.
Okay, so let's go. You can fit 2 people behind this one.
Sorry, click again. I didn't see where you... Oh, yeah, that one down there. Yes, you could fit 2 people behind that one.
Okay, let's go there.
All right. shifting your tokens down. I'll go ahead and grab Jamira and move her along with you. That is going to free up a little bit more vision on the map, and I am also going to be, of course, asking for the return of your stealth rolls, as you are going to have to pass through a bit of open space, and certainly people are on alert at this time. Okay. That's 20 even, and then Jamira is going to have Blessing of the Trickster, so she will have advantage. Are you capable of rolling right now, Jamira, or is your roll 20 just locking up on you entirely?
Let me check.
Mm-hmm. I can always really quick wall, because usually these things resolve within a moment, so to speed this up, I can... Okay, cool, awesome. 25, noted. You do have advantage, so you're always welcome to roll.
Okay, now it's working for me.
Awesome. Yeah, like I said, they usually, it's just, their servers are processing a lot of information, so occasionally there are these little hiccups. And that is going to not be too terrible of stealth checks. And it looks like for the time being, the trolls are going to really be distracted by whatever this glowing helmet is that is going to continue to get further away from Inel. And they are going to give chase as they think that it is likely something of note, as you hear a couple of them crying out again, like, Thurok, Thok, Thok. And with that, I'm shifting the trolls around. You're gonna see as, Inel, your position is only gonna, not really, they're not going to be interested in it, but one of them is going to basically sidle over to you and be standing maybe 15 feet away, staring off into the direction that your helmet went. So you're going to be safe for the time being, but if you do anything while you're over there, you're going to risk its attention. And now to pan us down to our companions who have huddled behind this rather large stump. You can see more of the trolls basically are busy down here by the lodge house, feasting in their communal area where they're pulling muscle and loose organ meat from the bone of fresh kills. As much as in this area, you can also see the holes that have been excavated both to your east and also now freshly more so to the south of your current location. The one by the guard tower looks as if that has been dug maybe within the last day or two, as the way that the dirt sits around the hole and the kind of the quality to it seems as if it is still fresh and turned recently, the water and moisture yet having to kind of fall through it and absorb into the rest of the soil below. But you may not have time to investigate such fresh potential graves or sites of excavation, as I feel like you have your eyes on a prize. Jamira, Rydell, where are you headed?
Question. If I were to cast I want to cast invisibility on, Rydell.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be in view of anyone?
At the moment, the only one who could potentially see that would be the guard who is atop the tower to the southwest of you, right here. And so I would require a sleight of hand in order to pull that off successfully, because much like I was explaining to Inel earlier, just because the guard is not looking in your direction now does not mean they will be not looking in your direction 6 seconds from now.
Good thing I put expertise in that.
Ah, yes, and the bard's cleverness and dexterity now saves the day. Go ahead and make that sleight of hand roll. You will get to make it at advantage, however, again, because of the fact that there is no one currently looking at you, and you are highly transparent.
Yeah. I believe that would be a +7.
Mm-hmm. You can actually just click the sleight of hand text on your character sheet, and it will roll it directly into chat with the appropriate modifiers.
Well, yeah, but I'm not really sure how to add expertise to my there.
It should already be added because of the fact that it's selected on your character sheet. Let me I can pull up your sheet really quick, and I'm looking. Yes. Oh, sleight of hand. Oh, it does not have the extra 2 added to it because of expertise. That, though, we can always just, that can be added after the fact manually. But anyway, noted. That's weird. It should have that extra 2 plus 2 to it. Go ahead and roll your d20s. Sleight of hand, and then the next one. Good thing that advantage is there. So that is going to, much like the previous instance with Inel, it's going to result in your companion certainly becoming invisible, but you are going to attract the attention of the nearby sentry on the guard tower to the southwest of you, who is going to give out a resounding cry of interest and call out to those who are now headed north right now. And again, you don't think that you've been spotted. There doesn't seem to be any indication that they're crying out, and you imagine that he would be knocking an arrow if he currently spotted any sort of intruders. But he did see the flash, and he is rapidly kind of jumping down from his perch to come investigate. So that means that you will have to make a stealth check in order to escape, both Rydell and Jamira, whichever directions you choose to go. Rydell, which way are you headed?
I'm going to be heading... I'm going to take this path going from, stump to stump, and, I'm going to land here.
Okay.
By the 10.
Got it. So go ahead and give me your stealth check for that, and you will have advantage because of your invisibility. And then, Rydell, where are you headed as your current position is untenable?
I'm gonna head... I think I'm gonna, see if I can follow my colleague.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and give me your stealth check. Thanks to Blessing of the Trickster, you will also have advantage despite the situation. And Rydell, yes, of course, yeah, you've got the plus 10 to that, so 26, and then 33. Not bad. Between the two of you, yeah, nope, the trolls' attempts to spot you are not going to go well as they draw closer to your position, but you are already gone, having moved up now to the side of that tent and positioned yourselves sort of behind the large bone, cross beams that have been used to construct this massive, almost lodge-style tent. Meanwhile, the trolls to the north are going to, Inel, as your helmet reaches the 60-foot barrier, let me take a measurement on that. Okay, yeah, they are going to begin to gather around it. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to continue moving it around? What's the idea here?
I'm going to make it do a circle still at 60 feet around me, but make them go there or something.
Okay, so you're rotating it clockwise or counterclockwise? Okay, you're
right there.
Okay, got it. So that is going to pass the helmet by a few
I'm
of
trying
those.
I'm trying to make it zigzag between them so they don't see that it's not really real.
They are not They're not concerned with the lack of reality, as the glowing helmet seems to be enough to attract their interest as it is. It's more the fact that it seems like as it moves by, they're going to attempt to swat at it because they fear that it is some sort of creature or will-o'-the-wisp or perhaps, something else. And
It's got 10 of AC, actually.
yeah, I was going to say, so one of them is going to miss, but then the other one is going to manage to basically catch a hold of your unseen servant, and they are going to be able to do a total of...
You get 1 HP, it's okay.
It's gonna have 5 damage on. So that is going to cause the unseen servant to dissipate, and the helmet to then tumble into the grass right there, which is still obviously going to attract the attention of these trolls, as they think that there is now probably a magical helmet sitting on the grass in front of them, and they are still facing away from you. At this time, Inel, is there anything else you want to do?
For now, I'm just trying to be stealthy in my...
Okay.
Whenever
You're going to be able to hold...
Actually, I'm gonna use rope... Can I use rope trick right now? It's... Let me check.
All right.
No, it's got the verbal. I'm just gonna trying to sneak to stay there.
Okay, you got it. Then that means you're not going to have to make another check of any kind, as you haven't moved, and the pass without trace and your previous stealth check is good enough to sort of support you. That does push us down now to our companions to the south of here, who are attempting to sneak further into the encampment. You are near this large tent. The surface of it seems to be made mostly out of crude, uncured hide that is stitched together. There is almost this rancid funk coming off of it, as you imagine that it has been out here in the rain, and between that and the exposure to the troll's lifestyle and diet, this thing is likely just a colony of biological activity. What would you like to do? Are you... Well...
Would I need a stealth check if I wanted to move just to the end of this tent I'm on?
No, you would not need a stealth check for that, especially given the fact that at the moment you don't seem to have anyone really looking in your direction.
Okay, so let's go up there for now. And I'm gonna kind of look at the exterior of this tent. I'm unable to control my token right now.
Oh, that's odd. Let me double check.
Are you on the arrow? On the arrow on your tools?
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
Alright.
I'll move you for now, but that is strange. I just double checked your settings. Everything should be where it is, but so moving up to the edge of that tent, and now kind of looking upon the grisly feeding area of the trolls. What are you gonna do?
I wanted to look specifically at the tent to see if there was any holes, or if it looks like the hide is tied down. Essentially, is there any other way to get in besides the front?
You could, judging by the slack in the hide, probably crawl in around one of the borders of the tent, as the bulk of it seems to kind of just be suspended on these beams of bone and wood here, meaning that the tent is just sort of hanging with a natural weight. It doesn't have any, like pittons running along the base of it, preventing anyone from getting in. The only question that you have, though, however, is whatever's on the other side. So you would need a stealth roll going through, because obviously not for anything on the exterior, but for whatever is potentially on the interior.
Yeah. Let's do that.
For subscribers to be sure, the round one is the one with the the boss, right?
The round one is the one with the boss. However, they had. I'm imagining that our companion Rydell is concerned with the interior of this tent, based on Wesdrin's description of its relative importance to these trolls.
Right. I'm just checking checking everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Rydell, Jamira, are you headed into the tent then?
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me those stealth rolls with advantage, please.
Can I like peek? And it's gonna be the same thing. If I like peek my head in, it'll be the same.
Yeah, I mean your head or your body at this point, it's more or less just the fact that like you don't know what the interior of this looks like.
Okay.
And you already have advantage, so I can't really give you much more for just poking your head in, you know what I mean? So that's 24. That's 18. All right, poking your head into that tent, you are going to find that there is at the moment nothing else in the interior. Hold on, I'm just going to move that to the GM layer to make that easier. It looks like the inside is a combination of things. One, this area right here immediately in front of you is, for the most part, it looks like some sort of communal bedding area, as there's just a bunch of furs on the ground mixed with like foliage and leaves and like brittle twigs to form like nests.
Oh, sorry, I meant I was trying to go in the main one.
Oh, I thought you meant the one that was next to you.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going for it.
We won't remember that.
Oh, that's fine. Boom, boom, boom.
Sorry, wasn't clear.
No, it's fine. I just imagined that was. So you're crossing. In which case, if you are going to cross that gap there and peek your head under that tent, that is going to allow a couple of those trolls the potential to spot you. Not as in like automatically, but you are going to sort of pass within their visual field. So instead of that being a gimme, there are going to be some perception checks rolled.
And I'm at a 19 instead of an 18, just of that.
Oh, wait. Got it. And it is, in fact, going to make a bit of a difference. That is going to prevent you from being spotted as you escape the troll's vision by that one additional point. And
the slippers saved you. The slippers saved you. Yes.
I thought you... Wait. Did you not say that you left the slippers?
I kept them.
Oh, you kept them. Inel left. Okay,
Yeah.
right. I had that in reverse in my head for some reason. So
He said he wanted them. And
yeah. I remember it. So that is going to reveal... One moment. The interior of this room. And you are going to spot... There we go. Sitting upon a rather crude wooden throne in the center of this room, next to a pile of glittering wealth and several jugs of what are either some sort of intoxicant or foul-smelling concoction of some kind, there is going to be an armored troll, towering above the rest that you've seen by a good foot or two. This one's chest is going to be large enough that you imagine the strength this creature could bring to bear with their upper body could likely smash a wagon in two, or even, cleave a bear in twain. Like, this thing looks considerably more equipped for battle, and also just stronger and larger than the rest of the trollkin you've seen. However, Rydell, this is not going to match up with the description you've heard of a more dapper, refined, troll wandering around with dark black hair in the clothes of, like, aristocracy, humming idle dark shanties to itself. This one is going to strike you more as every bit the sort of war chieftain you might expect to rule over a troll band. Its breath so foul and hot that you can see it forming these sort of pools in the air as it sits there upon its throne, unsure of almost what to do with itself as it just idly passes the time, looking at the sort of entrance to its tent with almost this like sadistic glee, as if ready to pounce on anything that should come through, troll or interloper or otherwise. That being what you see, what would you like to do?
So, can I tell, kind of like specifically what's? No, like I wouldn't be able to know what's in those pots or anything.
You could give me a perception check to see if you can get like a better idea as far as like senses are concerned, whether or not they smell sweet, or like as if they are wafting off an aroma of alcohol, or if they just smell like rancid sewer water. I mean, there are a few things you could learn. With a 12, was that supposed to have advantage?
No, sorry.
Just checking. So with an 8, no, unfortunately not. The like ambient stench and buzz of flies in this room, as well as all of kind of the distractions around you, are not going to really allow you to like figure out exactly what this is in those pots.
Okay.
Companions, what would you like to do?
We're actually I'm just. Can I do a perception check to see if I see the troll that killed Thea?
Go ahead and make a roll for it. All right, with that 18, you are not going to be able to spot.
No, it's 14. I forgot to switch
got
the.
it. With that 14, you are not going to be able to spot the troll, but you will, like the 18s, be able to confirm that they are not currently among any of those that you've seen thus far. So whether or not it's lurking somewhere else out in the bushes or in one of the tents here in the camp, you're not sure, but you know that it's not one of the ones here. Meanwhile, I'm more interested, Rydell, Jamira, what are you going to do? You have, I don't want to say a predicament in front of you, but certainly you've only got half an answer right now. What would you like to do?
I'm going to move up and kind of...
You know that it's probably not the troll we're looking for.
It's not, yeah. I'm going to try to get to the magic tent. So for now, I'm going to move. Yeah, I still do not have control over my token, but I'm going to move up to this rock here.
Okay.
And cast prestidigitation. Just 30 feet here. Just make. Let's see. Make like a little. Yeah, I can do like a little puff of wind, or I can do faint musical notes. So I'm gonna do like a little, just kind of a sound there to try to get the attention of that troll.
Okay. So with that, with prestidigitation being something that has verbal and somatic components, you are right next to that tent. I am going to ask for not a sleight of hand check based on the flash at this point, but actually Well, no, the sleight of hand. Yeah, that makes more sense given the circumstances. But you will have advantage on it. All right, Rydell, that is going to cause basically a twofold effect. This troll here over moi is going to notice both the effects of the prestidigitation and the small surging flash of your magic actually going off. And that is not going to really alarm it too much as it's beginning to walk forward. It does not know that you are there, but it is beginning to kind of having looked at that prestidigitation, and it is now going to kind of curiously glance back towards where you are, scratching its head as if to say,
Okay, so if the troll saw my little flash, I'm assuming that the bard does as well. I'm gonna wait for him to move up.
All right, Jamira, what are you doing at this time?
I personally want to look at the tent right next to me.
Okay. Noted. All right.
Why did the Turner order all of a sudden show up?
Oh, no, that's... Sorry, I was clicking on a different button. And...
Yeah, don't worry, it happens sometime. Every time my heart skip a beat.
So, that is going to obviously reveal the interior of that tent to you. And you are going to see, as I had described earlier, to this at the start of this, what is both a communal bedding area and what looks to be large chunks of stone that are being arranged in some manner, as if they're being put together like some sort of crude jigsaw puzzle on the ground. Though you have no idea immediately to what end, you can tell that the shape is generally in that of an archway.
So either a shrine or they're creating a magic portal.
Perhaps not. At this time, however, I'm also going to cut back up here now to Inel. Inel, you are going to watch as now the trolls, having gathered around and sort of tried to investigate your conjuration, are going to be losing patience with it, while some of the larger ones are going to then start heading back towards the camp perimeter.
When I see that they're going back to the camp, I'm casting precipitation in the sky to make a big boom sound.
Okay.
So
where are you orienting that booming sound, just so that I have an idea?
it's only 10 feet, so there.
Okay, you got it. Then from there, go ahead and give me that sleight of hand to kind of conceal your magic as the...
Advantage or no?
Advantage, yes. So long as you have Pass Without Trace on, I'm going to give you advantage. Oh, actually, you don't.
He doesn't.
You do not. So I will not give you advantage on that,
Alright,
unfortunately.
let's go sleight of hand.
As... Ooh, that's going to be a critical failure.
They see me, but at least they know that they're coming back.
Yep. So they are going to immediately, with that, become aware of your presence there.
Bamf out.
Are you teleporting out?
Yep.
Okay, I was going to say, so they charge. None of them are close enough to... Actually, the only one that might be able to theoretically react before you can is that nearby archer. I'm going to roll for him. Inel, go ahead and give me an initiative really quick. He's the only one that could reach you, that could even attack you right now. So if you beat him, you're out home free. However, if you don't, there's a good chance that he's going to put an arrow through you. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Initiative. I forgot where it is. I'm panicking. All right.
Oh, yeah. All right, 18 is going to be more than enough. While his eyes were good, his reflexes were kind of slow, and that is going to send Inel away.
Why am I ready? Where am I more dead?
You are going to get warped back to the rest of the party. Now sick with the illness that is accompanying of the teleportation system of the Guild of Mazes. The rest of your companions who are safely a mile and a half away are going to be looking at you expectantly. Also noticing that, there aren't two other people immediately warping in behind you.
I'm gonna
Welcome back. It'll help.
All right. The other two are still in the camp. They're further away. Last time I saw them, they were going to the main tent. I tried to make my last distraction before going out. They're going to be fine, I'm sure. We just need to prepare to go now. When they come back, we go.
Okay, I start picking up my stuff just to be ready.
All right. From there,
Okay, now
Jamira?
Bill, do you have any way to light something on fire by any chance?
Yes, but I don't want to do that.
Yes, but no.
I just want to if we get caught, I want to leave him with a parting gift.
Sure. All right, but we're not caught yet.
Yeah.
All right, Videl, Jamira, what is your play here? You are likely moments away from having a troll rounding the corner to investigate what's going on. You are still translucent for the moment, so that's going to, give you advantage on those stealth checks, but at such close proximity, you're not really sure how much you can continue depending on your magic here. What do you want to do?
Do the trolls react to the boom that NL created?
They do react to the boom at this time. I'm giving Rydell and Jamira a chance to kind of pick their actions before the trolls start, shifting across the battlefield, so we're kind of in a freeze frame for a second. If you're going to just hold position and see what happens, that's fine, but that is sort of your action, you know what I mean?
I'm looking here.
Okay. I was gonna wait and see what he's gonna do, and then I'll react.
Okay, Jamira, go for it.
Because, it's still technically, out of sight of most trolls, I think.
Okay. If you want to head over there, that is going to... I'm now going to roll for a couple of the trolls. Rydell, you watch as your companion begins to kind of try and find a less main thoroughfare in order to try and conceal themselves behind one of the larger beams of bone and wood holding up that tent. And we are going to watch as now this troll is going to begin, you're going to see kind of walking around this corner, having heard the boom over there, but also having seen the flash near them, is still kind of torn between where they should be going and is kind of looking around, panning from side to side. I am going to take...
Yeah,
okay, so you're moving?
Yeah, I was just waiting to see what he's going to do. I'm going to move... let's go. I'm gonna walk across this clearing and plant myself by this stump.
Okay, go for it. As you do, you are going to... Oh, yeah.
Do I need to...
Both notice something in that cage that you are passing by, and go ahead and give me a stealth check. But that thing is going to likely... One moment. Let's see where you end up. That stealth check, yes, it is going to also notice you as you look over to see...
24.
He's invisible. He still has advantage, right?
He does still have advantage.
It noticed me with the 24.
It noticed you with a natural 20.
Boy.
The creature inside of that cage, however, is not going to draw alarm. Instead, as you look over, you're going to see the image of a fairly slight androgynous humanoid who it looks like would have wings were it not for the unfortunate and rather grisly looking crumpled up crystalline stumps in like the area of their shoulder blades where wings would be, as if they had been at once these beautiful and sort of refractory things, but instead have now been torn from them, and the sort of the places from which they would grow crippled and maimed. There is a look of forlornness as well as extreme sadness and desperation as they call out to you and they say, You there, I can see you. I can see. Please, I will not tell the trolls. You must help me.
If it can see me, then I'm gonna just hold up like a finger and like as like a shush and like then like a 1 second gesture.
Please, I cannot bear another moment of this. And and you're gonna continue to walk though. You're not gonna pause. You're just gonna keep moving.
Yeah, I'm gonna like hear that and go, wait, keep going.
All right. As you move away, you're going to hear them desperately call after you. But as you continue, they will immediately stop as to not try and raise their voice loud enough to attract the attention of the trolls. And that will see you safely over to that stump that you were hoping to get to. Meanwhile, over here on this end, Jamira, you are in a position, thankfully with the advantage granted to you by the blessing of the trickster, that you are going to have that going for you, but you do not any longer have the +10 bonus from the Pass Without Trace, as that gravy train has gone in a completely opposite direction.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give me your dual stealth rolls to see which one is higher.
You can also teleport out to the beacon if you want.
All right, 21. Oh, man. Okay, so it looks like the fairy that just spotted our companion is going to have one thing in common with her captors, which is that they are both rolling natural 20 perception checks right now. You are going to get spotted, Jamira.
Banf out, please. Banf out, man.
And much like our companion Inel, you are going to need to roll an initiative check to see if you can basically go before the archer that has spotted you. So, I mean, like, expertly, really. There's just no way that you could have avoided that. Oh, man. And that is a critical failure of your initiative.
God damn it.
So the troll is going to get to go first. The rest of it around are going to go after because it is going to cry out, obviously, and attract attention. But it will get the chance to attack you. It is not going to get 2 attacks. These things aren't that good with a bow. But it is... All right, well, that's even. It just rolled a critical failure. So rolling for variance, even though its eyes are sharp, much like you, it is going to be experiencing a little bit of an off day. And after having rolled for variance, it notches an arrow, and you're going to watch as the kind of like crude wooden shaft just shatters as the bowstring releases and just turns into a couple of twigs, basically, that go in opposite directions, and leaving the troll sitting there just cursing.
You sure worse than my nan, and she's in a bleeding wooden onesie.
Are you going to bamf out at this point, or do you have a further action for your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna bamf out.
All right, with a zank and a bamf, you are going to disappear from the battlefield and also then be reunited again with your companions far away in the woods. And I'm going to pan over here now to our last remaining member of the reconnaissance team, the cleric of the trickery domain. What are you going to do, Rydell?
I'm gonna peek my head in this little tent here.
Okay.
First, I want to move like behind that stump, kind of like in between the stump and the tree.
Got it.
First, Tribe, if I remember correctly, if we move, the beacon is still active on the one who put the beacon, right?
The beacon is active on the person who has started the beacon.
So
yes.
we could theoretically start to run now, and when Rydell teleport, they will be with us.
This is possible. However, if anything were to happen to you while you were running through the forest and your beacon was to get disrupted, because it while it is something you can keep for a long period of time, it functions with a concentration check. So if you were to take damage unexpectedly from some creature in the forest, or like anything of that nature, you do risk the beacon holder, accidentally losing it, and it is a 10-minute ritual. So you really have to wonder whether or not that's worth it. Not saying no, I'm just saying that is a tactical decision that is up to you, and Gale specifically in this case, because Gale is the one who the beacon is centered on.
What do you think, Gale? So we wait?
Yes, I'm not going to risk our new friend's life on Gale tripping.
Yeah, let's wait for that.
All right.
I'm gonna make a perception check while we wait to scan if anything is coming for us.
Go for it, and remember it will be at disadvantage because you have teleported recently and you are still sick to your stomach with the after effects of having been thrown through the astral dimensions and recoalesced into a solid being.
Damn it!
So that is going to represent you sort of stumbling around and just drawing a lot of noise and attention to your position as you're attempting to kind of like keep an eye out. Fortunately, you are 1.5 miles away from the troll base, so it's unlikely that you'll attract their attention, but who knows what else is lurking out here in the mist-cloaked woods of Hope's Rise, Southern Valley. Now, drawing back to Rydell,
I'm sort of silently cursing in Infernal after, being sick.
Absolutely. You are going to peek your head under that tent to find that it looks like this one has yet to be inhabited, as the interior of the tent is going to reveal that there are no furs, there's no real signs of anything having slept in here. The grass that it's perched upon is still healthy and green, meaning that likely it hasn't been isolated from sunlight for more than even maybe a day or two. So you have to imagine that you are kind of spotting what is going to become a bunkhouse for future troll numbers that are not currently represented at this camp, which in and of itself is a form of a clue.
Okay, I'm gonna note that, and then I'm gonna go around here to stop at this stump, and then try to peek my head in here. Okay,
go for it. I will ask for a stealth check at this point, not because anyone's directly looking at you, but just because they're, you never know when you're gonna step on a bunch of really loud twigs. And with that,
have the reacted to Enel's actions or the bards being seen?
They absolutely have. If you pan over to the other side of the map, the trolls up here that were gathered are actually gathered around, basically pointed at Inel's last position, as he let off that boom and then also subsequently disappeared. 4 of them are basically sitting around like puzzling and continuing to sort of like look at the area to make sure they didn't miss anything. Meanwhile, the one who spotted Jamira down south here, having fired that arrow and called out and pointed, Jamira managed to bamf out before any of the other trolls around were able to see that troll's target, essentially. So they are going to hear him cry out, turn, and just see sort of the static mist cooling down in the air from when her teleportation. So they're more or less still over in that area and engaged with what's going on there. A couple of the trolls that you see now here, like in the central area, are not going to move, as it seems like the one by the tent here and the one by the pile of food almost are maintaining a presence, like as if regimented, as if they are supposed to remain there. Meanwhile, also, the trolls to the south, the trolls to the south of our cleric's position at the moment are maintaining sort of a similar amount of discipline, not wanting to leave alone what is, in their eyes, kind of the front gate of this complex. These trolls are certainly now more alert, and they're looking around, but it seems as if they are going to be maintaining their positions for the time being here on the eastern flank. Then with that 17, you are going to get close enough that it looks like they are going to be very, very close to spotting you, but for the time being, you are going to manage to outwit them, and just after you get behind cover, you're going to hear the noise of this one slinking off of its stump and beginning to kind of go out for some sort of patrol in the larger perimeter as it starts to move further towards the outside of the camp. Rydell, you're now there by that wall of that tent. I imagine you're going to attempt to peek in?
Yep.
All right. Boom, boom, boom. Grab that. Looking into the interior of this tent, you find a stone dais at the center, atop of which is what would to you be a longsword, but likely, judging by its shape, is a dagger to one of these trolls, as well as an uncorked potion bottle of some kind that has its contents, its contents have long been spilled out. There is some discoloration on the stone dais, likely from the markings of some sort of magical reaction. As you can see, there are these off coloration burn marks that are green and purple in hue in various areas that fire would have a very hard time creating. Past that, that's really all you see immediately in the interior. There isn't much sign of troll activity inside of this tent in terms of it doesn't look like anybody's sleeping in here, and it doesn't look like there's a lot of worn away dirt at the entrance or around this altar ? You're not sure how frequently this thing has or hasn't been used. Judging by the blood, this could have been maybe a one-time use thing, or it could be a bit more frequent than that. It's hard to tell.
Okay, I'm gonna make a. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of do a check and figure out if I can if I can see what any of this is. Would that be insight, or would that be an arcana?
Arcana or religion, depending on which you think is more apt to solve the problem.
Okay, I do a religion. Nope.
All right, with a religion of 6, you are going to gather that this is likely a ritual area of some kind, and judging by the high presence of blood, you imagine that wasn't stored in the potion bottle, and this is almost certainly a sacrificial altar of some kind. What they've been sacrificing and to what and for what, you do not know. But likely based on the way that the longsword has been plunged into the stone, that whatever this ritual was, it was successful. As there's kind of there's a purposefulness to its positioning. It's as if this thing was driven into the stone and is occupying a certain place with intent.
Okay, I'm gonna crawl in and I'm gonna try to take, I'm gonna take the vial and I'm gonna try to pull that sword out.
Okay, as you crawl into the tent, you said that you're going for the vial first, so I'm gonna react to that. You are going to get near it. One moment. Got to get onto the right layer here, and we shift your token in there. You are going to find that this place is protected by a ward of some kind. And I'm going to need a a constitution saving throw as you step within that barrier and approach the empty flask. Ooh, all right. So as you go to approach, you are going to be immediately nauseated, causing you to take disadvantage on anything, on any ability checks, as you are going to immediately begin coughing and sputtering and trying to hurl up the contents of your stomach as your eyes begin to swim and the world begins to start to rapidly slope from one direction to the other, and it's all you can do to keep your feet firmly planted underneath you. As that happens, you are also going to be taking... That is going to be a whopping 21 points of poison damage.
Don't tell me that's your HP.
Oh, it's not. It's not.
Good, but that's mine.
Okay, youch.
And you will find that this has, repelled you, basically. Not that there's a force field, but you feel like if you were to dip back into this, it would activate again. Like, you have not, in any way, taken the charge out of this barrier, so to speak.
Okay.
So, I'll shift you there. And meanwhile, this has also made a crackling noise. There has been a flash of green light, as well as your hacking and sputtering has caused a certain amount of noise itself. You're welcome to give me a stealth check, still with advantage. However, you are going to obviously be attracting a certain amount of attention just because of the environment at this point. As trolls begin to nearby wonder what is happening. Stealth, okay. So that 11... Alright, none of them are going to hear your vomiting in the face of, the discharge of that portal. Not portal, that barrier and that ward, which is going to then obviously buy you a little bit of time, because they're more like, oh, something's going on in the tent kind of action, than sort of there must be someone in there that is attempting to steal things, we're going to murder them instantly. What would you like to do at this point? You are still invisible. You have maybe a turn before you're joined in this tent by company.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna hug the wall of the tent and.
Oh, I'm sorry. That stealth would not have been at advantage because of the nausea. It would have been. It would have just been the 3.
Okay, so 14.
So 14. Yeah. But anyway.
Am I still? Was I spotted then?
No. The 14 is still enough. They rolled. They rolled pretty low.
Okay, so I'm gonna head out this way, and I'm gonna be walking towards the cage.
All right. Go ahead and give me a fresh stealth roll, as again there are trolls actively headed past that like visual range as they head into the tent to investigate the source of the commotion. Thank you so much, my players who are sitting on the sidelines right now watching Rydell risk his life and limb. I understand that you are being so patient. Let us... Okay.
I'm curious to see how this turns out, actually.
I think we all are.
Yeah, it's stressed out now.
All right, Rydell, that's stealth. That's an 18 total. There are only 2 trolls currently interested in you, but one of them rolls a 19 on the dice. However, one of them also rolls a critical failure. You can't write these things, folks. With that variance, what is going to happen here is, while the one who rolled more than the 19 is going to definitively spot you, like, despite the outline, despite everything, it looks like enough dust and dirt and mud from your crawling and, you know, your subsequent nausea and the sort of like the battle damage from the like the ward is going to sort of sit on top of your invisibility just enough and obscure everything just enough that the troll is going to spot your outline and give out a cry of "Thrak Raktha!" And at that time, however, the other one is going to step directly in front of it and ask it to re-clarify. And as that happens, you are going to get a chance to slip this thing. So the variance is giving you another roll. Let's see how this goes. If this is lower than that troll's current perception total, then it might still be able to keep a bead on you. Okay, that is going to be enough. It rolled a 19. These things only have +3 to their perception. And you guys have managed to stay ahead of these trolls by like literally 1 or 2 points in so many of these rolls. But that is going to be enough for you to scoot by as like on almost who's on first style sketch plays out as the larger armored troll is pointing behind the smaller one, and the smaller one looks back and kind of points even though you're no longer there anymore because you've moved on, basically like, I don't see anybody, it's right there, I don't see anybody. And then by the time he actually just ignores the little one and pushes past him and strides over to the tree stump because he's convinced that you've hidden yourself behind it, you will have effectively managed to scoot on past and for the moment remain unseen.
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna hugging the tent. I'm gonna get a closer look at the cage, see if there's any readily available way to open it.
All right, the cage has a rather like large and pretty simple looking like metal like lock on it of some kind. It seems as if it's basically just a I'm trying to think of the word here. Oh, they're on most doors. Oh God, why can't I think of this word?
Doorknob?
No.
Padlock?
Padlock. Oh, no, not padlock. They're on chains and they have bars and you use them to
Switch thing.
Yeah. In order for people to be able to open the door only a partial way, while there's still a chain there, so people can't push it open. It's not a clasp.
The chain lock.
Yeah, there's a word for that. Oh my god. Anyway, there is a chain lock on it, and it seems as if that chain has then just been wrapped around like the bars enough times and sort of like tied off in a knot that you wouldn't be able to effectively untie the chain knot and throw open the... I keep wanting to say sash because it's been I've been reading Christmas poetry recently, but to be able to throw open the chain lock, you would need to basically untie this chain and kind of unwrap it from around one of these bars, which could be done. Like, the knot doesn't look complicated.
Okay. I'll get closer. I'm going to make an Arcana check just to see if I can detect anything magical about the cage or the mechanism or anything.
Okay, go for it.
My int of 1.
All right, as far as you can tell, there don't seem to be any glyphs or any indications that the cage or the locking mechanism or the frame from which it's hanging is magical.
Great, then I'm going to approach it and still holding up like a shush to the guy. I'm going to start unwrapping this thing as quietly as possible.
The androgynous humanoid does not seem to notice you at this point, as with your return and their subsequent perception check, they're not going to be as lucky.
And I'm going to whisper just like, "Hey, I'm back, but shut up."
Okay, noted. They're going to spin around and with an excited look see you and say, Oh, thank the goddesses. I don't know if I could have done another day here. You've got to get me free. These trolls, you do not understand. They are going to do terrible, terrible things.
I will do what I can. I won't be able to escort you out here, but I'll do my best to free you, and if you're able to escape, then come to the nearest town.
All right. So I'm just going to need a sleight of hand check from you to pull apart these chains and undo this knot. That will not be with any advantage because it's not really, you're not doing this to keep it concealed. It's the complexity of the knot that you're trying to... All right, with that 6, you are going to unfortunately find that some of the links of the chain are getting caught on each other, and in your attempts to unravel them, they are going to start kind of like you're going to create a knot within a knot here. It's not lost by any means, but you are starting to make a little bit of noise, and you are out here in the open. Likely... Oh, I'm sorry, that sleight of hand check would have been made with disadvantage.
Oh, even better.
There could be a critical failure, so I need to see.
You're right. There could be.
Okay, so the 6 is the low end. So you are not going to get spotted for that immediately because there's no bright flash. There's just some noise and some jangling, and there are quite a few distractions going on right now. However, you do have that one troll closing the distance to your east who, like, swore that he saw someone moving along the wall back here. So you're really only going to have one more chance before you are forced to either, like, abandon this or do something drastic in order to try and break open the lock, or, you know, whatever it is that you are going to attempt. So go ahead. You can give me one more sleight of hand check with disadvantage before this gets real.
Hey.
Oh, man. Okay, the best disadvantage ever. That is going to be enough. Realizing that the situation is rapidly depleting in terms of stability, and also that you are about to have a blood-hungry troll maybe feet away from you any second, your adrenaline dumps, your eyes focus, and you find a small amount of clarity to throw open the knots on this chain and undo the latch. That's the word. latch on the cage, and that is going to throw open the door, and you are going to see the humanoid inside step out, looking around nervously. They are going to rub both of their hands together and generating a small amount of light. They are going to send hurtling in the opposite direction of the wall what look to be 3 or 4 dancing globes of very bright light, brighter so than even like say a dancing lights style effect. And the trolls are going to be universally both aware of it and repelled by this thing as they see this bright light forming and heading towards the center of their camp. And with this, she is going to turn to you and say, "We must flee. We must flee now."
I'm going to include them in my pass with trace.
What'd you say?
I'm going to include them in my pass with trace.
Okay.
Pass without trace.
Got it. Pass with trace.
Pass with trace.
I think that's a barbarian ability. Everyone knows that you've been through here.
Minus 10 still.
All right, so with that, go ahead and I'm going to just take one last stealth check as you attempt to get out of this camp, as the wall nearby is going to have a couple, like, large enough gaps in it that you can squeeze through. Go ahead and see if you... All right, so that will be it. You're going to be able to get out of there free and clear, as the scrag on top of the rock that you are passing by is going to be oblivious to your presence. Seeing the light that has emerged up above the perimeter, the horizon of the wall to the south of them, they're just going to be following it with their head, as if a cat, ensconced by a computer screen, and they're going to miss the subsequent sneaking by of you and your newfound Fey companion, who is going to gladly extend her thanks, but say that she must be going, and that it is dangerous for her to not return, but that she will find you in Fog Iron Landing in a day's time if you are still alive.
I will do everything I can to stay alive. You do the same, and I'll see you there tomorrow.
All right, excellent. And as you depart, I imagine, are you going to take the long overland route, or are you bamfing out with a zank?
I'm very low, so I'm gonna zank.
All right. With a bamf and a zank, our companion returns, and the group is whole once more. Thank you, everyone, for your patience in this most tense and important moment. It looks like you will be rewarded, at least for your, endeavor with the form of some sort of ally that seems to have at least minor abilities capable of both distracting and perhaps repelling these trolls. It is a good day to be a member of the Guild of Mazes. Of course, at this point, your scout companion is going to press all 5 of you for what have you learned.
Let's talk about it in Fog Landing. We need to go now.
Yeah, we must flee. Can we, on the overland map, could we, flee around the top of the lake to Fog Iron Landing, or is the, orange stuff, a huge mountain?
So if you check out and I'm not saying this but if you check out the chart below that color codes the topography, you'll see that the mountain to the north of Fog Iron Landing is very, very tall, because the forest here and the tall grass areas on the valley floor are several hundred feet below where that orange stuff even starts. So this cliff right here is effectively almost like a mesa in terms of shape and size, though the top of it is hardly flat. It's more just like a giant monolithic spire emerging from the ground. However, though, that is to say that the perimeter right here. I cannot get that to... Okay, there we go. Around the lake. You could make your way because there is sort of a rocky shore there. The issue is just that you would be, I mean, it's like 3 feet between the water of the lake and the like sheer rise of the cliff. So if you were to run into some sort of problem, you would not be in a very like robust tactical situation. It would be shorter though, and likely conceal your presence from a lot of things that might be moving along the road or in this section of the wood. It's kind of up to yours to, you know, whether or not you feel like that's an adequate sacrifice to make.
If it's quicker, let's just go the quicker route.
I think while the going north is dangerous, I know for sure we'll encounter the trolls if we head south.
Good point.
If I carry one of them, could they short rest while I like have them on my back? I don't know.
Unfortunately, without the ability to provide them with a saddle of some kind, that won't really work.
What if I
like piggyback?
If you roll, okay, no, they'd also have to be small in size. I'm gonna really, that's the issue here.
I'm human.
would make one of them small.
Okay, so you're gonna reduce one of them and then carry them.
It's for an hour. I don't think that's enough.
Also, it's worth noting that the hour will you don't have to short rest to get rid of your sickness. The sickness just goes away after an hour.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to heal me.
Ah, I see. Well, then are you going to reduce yourself and then see if your companion can ace an athletics check?
Either that, or I can just get some health potions. You guys can decide.
I mean, we could try if it doesn't work.
I'm not against it. I just need to clarify that that's what you're doing.
Are we doing it, guys?
I'm gonna use one health potion.
I will make that athletics check. I got a +6 to it.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna reduce right now.
All right, hold on. Reduce only lasts up to a minute.
A minute.
Oh, okay.
I think it was an hour. Sorry.
No, yeah, sorry. Otherwise I'd be totally down. So go ahead and spend that health potion, and then what path is the party going to take back to Fog Iron Landing?
Let's go north.
And head along the lake, like cliffside.
Yeah, and can you put up another pass without trace so they can't track us if they were to find our trail?
Yeah, I'll do it.
For a while.
Okay.
Wes, I'm gonna take it to or scout. Is there a quicker way out of the woods that you know of?
Not unless you have a boat in one of those bags of yours.
No, I don't think we do.
Fresh out of boats in a can.
We used to keep several stashed alongside this area, rafts or small rowboats for just such occasions if we needed to make quick exits. But unfortunately, since the trolls have been here, we've only taken them one way, and all of those rafts and boats are now in Fog Iron Landing.
All right, so let's go north and get out of here.
All right, so go ahead and give me everyone survival checks and stealth checks as you're proceeding along. Obviously, your situation is not dire. These are sort of just to kind of measure how well you're making travel over the land. If there might be any, significant instances in which you, leave tracks behind or draw attention to yourselves, those sorts of things. So 18 and 20, 20 and 9.
Am I still invisible at this point?
Your invisibility would be invisible. You'd be partially, because invisibility lasts for, I believe, an hour. So you would start your trek invisible, but you would finish it. Your invisibility would wear away actually pretty soon. So
I have it, just like for the purposes of advantage on stealth here.
Yeah.
we have pass without a trace up right now.
Yes, you also have pass without trace up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. It looks like Jamira, you're the only one. I'm waiting. Oh no, you were at the top. Never mind. That's 18 and 21. Okay, so everyone's doing pretty good on this. That means that with your scouts rolls and no one botching their survival check specifically would. Sorry, what?
Oh no. Yeah, a lot better than my last survival check.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So with that, and no one getting below a 5 or actually I don't even think a 10 on their survival, you will all be able to make it back across that cliffside area pretty easily. There are going to be points where you're kind of clinging to the rocks and jumping over some like boulders that are actually out in the water to get back to the shoreline and stuff, but it's all going to go smoothly. No one's going to make any terrible mistakes, and it's all going to go. You'll be able to find an easy enough path that the athletics checks or acrobatics checks are not going to be required in order to make it. So, congratulations. That is going to, however, take enough time that by the end of your journey, as you are kind of wading through about a foot and a half of shallow water on the far northern banks of Fog Iron Landing, the sun will have fully set. The purple twilight sky will now be fully ensconced in darkness, and you will only be able to see but a faint vestige of Eidolon's many moons in the night sky, leaving much of the otherwise moonlight that would be illuminating the area left behind the curtain of fog that lingers over this low valley area. Gale, I saw you scooted your character token back. Were you intending to stay?
Nope, that was a mistake.
Okay,
Sorry.
just checking. And that will see your return now to Fog Iron Landing. Your scout friend is going to, basically bid you adieu for the evening and say that for now he thinks it best that everybody rest and get ready for the following day. He is going to make his report to his superior, Zetheria, who is the current head of this office of the Cloudforge Ironworkers Guild. And then he says, I imagine she will also want your report in the morning. But she has specifically requested that I make my account of the situation available, should there be any discrepancies.
I think she mostly wants to know if we are idiots. I say that joke.
I think they've already made that determination, and I think we'll go rest, right? Well, some of us don't need to, but yeah, certainly.
Well, I haven't proven my idiocy to all of you yet.
I have yet to begin to show you how dumb I am. So with that, it looks like Western is going to leave you be, and you will now be in the rather empty, fog-filled streets of Fog Iron Landing once more. It's about 9-10 p.m. at this moment. The sun has not set for too long, and it looks like a lot of the town is still awake. They are just the lights are on in all of the houses, and the inn is bustling nearby, and you can hear kind of just the general sounds of hubbub and crowd coming from the interior.
Let's go have a nice night rest, I guess.
Yeah, we have you guys relayed everything that you discovered there, or are you gonna hold tight those until we report?
Wait till I'll tell the party.
I unfortunately cannot find a pencil.
I'll tell everything to the party, and then I'll say I can talk more in depth at the report. But But I'll give you like the gist of like the tents and the empty ones and what I saw, etc. Our friend.
Sounds
And
like
I saw like in that tent the like only specific trolls were going into that what looked like to be the makings of either a shrine or a portal.
there's some funky stuff going on with these trolls, but this Fey ally you managed to free should probably be indispensable if they manage to meet up with us.
Yes.
We'll meet up with them before we give our report. Let's wait for them.
Definitely anxious to see their return and what information they could possibly have. I'm gonna head to the inn or tavern. I'm gonna take an hour just like at the bar to do like a short rest before getting a room.
Okay, absolutely.
I'm going to go with Rydell and and just sit and say it's really. For once, I'm glad that a cleric I was with didn't die on our first mission. I was with them. So welcome to the team. Rydell.
Thank you. I intend to continue on not dying, and I hope you and everyone else does the same.
Well, we have a catchphrase around here after a full mission: "Not dying in dinner." So let's do it. All right.
I'm hungry.
Not dying at dinner.
Let's do it.
Not dying and dinner indeed is probably the that is going to get stitched onto like some amount of guildware as it becomes the rallying cry of each day upon our they manage to successfully awake. And we are now at about a couple minutes from the wind down at 10 o'clock, so I can't think of a better time to sort of phase out of the action and let our players sleep before they roll to see what encounter might befall them in the evening, if any. And we do have a couple giveaways to do. We have first, the prize for our contestants this evening to give away. One of them is this is a stone called Euperlite, which is cyanite and sodalite in composite. The sodalite is fluorescent, and under shortwave UV blacklight, it glows. So these things are a pretty novel little item, and and I'm also happy to present it alongside this piece of astrophyllite, a very, very rare crystal that you can see only in small shards running through the center of this quartz that it has set itself into. Both of these stones are pretty unique and very rare out there in nature, so I am going to put it up to the Twitch chat. Which one of our contestants this evening do you think is most deserving of a stone? There are 5 potential options, and I'm seeing...
Can we vote?
Oh yeah, everyone can vote.
Well, I'll toss my hat for Rydell, most certainly.
All right, we got 2 for Rydell, we got 2 for Gale, okay, 3 for Rydell, actually.
Yeah, like Rydell did a lot. So,
he pulled it out,
right.
But okay, we're actually seeing a few for Inel. All right, so based on how this is played out and the basic, I feel comfortable. Let's do a 3-way roll off. Let's do Gale, Inel, and Rydell.
Just a D20?
Just roll a D20. Rydell, you got 13. Inel, go ahead and roll. Got an 11. All right, that leaves Gale. Go ahead and roll that D20. What you got? Oh, Gale, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That is not going to be enough, and that looks like Rydell Kadasser is going to be able to cinch another stone, and that is going to put our user, aka community member Ben Sprout, in the lead for stones acquired, as there was actually a neck and neck between our half-orc fighter Bakrun and our cleric, and it looks like you are going to pull into the lead by 1 now with the record of stones acquired from this game. So congratulations to that. I will make sure to get it into the mail as soon as possible. And we now, of course, then have the dice to give away. Now, the dice are going to be available to anybody who didn't compete on the show tonight. And that means any of the users out there in the Twitch chat or the members of our Discord community. If you are out there and you would like to have a chance to win this pair of dice, just make sure to post a here or a hi or like I'm hanging out into the Twitch chat so that I can make sure who all is currently with us and has made it through the episode. That is 1, 2, 3. I'm also looking back through the last couple of minutes because I imagine that those people are also here. But all right, so there are not that many at the moment. So let's see who is going to walk away with a die this evening. And so based on this, it looks like Scrubtron, you are going to be the lucky winner of a brand new set of dice. Feel free to either whisper me through Twitch, or if you're on the Discord, send me a private message at Farscribe and get me the address that you would like these dice shipped to, whether or not it's you or a friend, perhaps. There will be more dice given away in the future, as well as minis and books. We're just going to keep this rolling, as well as more precious stones. Week by week, the main cash prize is continuing to go up, and I am happy to report with the freeing of that captive and the successful reconnaissance and escape from the Mist Troll encampment, as well as their return, that is going to be enough experience points to put our adventuring party into 5th level, which means that all of the current characters and all characters that join us after this moment will be 5th level or higher. And if that's not the edge they need to overcome the Urnaga Nelafim, then I don't know what's going to do it.
That is for sure the edge we need.
Heck yeah!
Perfect.
All right.
By the way, when you level up as Bard, you can like switch around your spells, right?
Yep. Yeah. Every Bard level, I think you can move. I think it's 3 or 2. It's there's a specific number.
You sure there's a limit?
It might be all of them. I think I thought there was. I didn't think you could shuffle the entire thing each time. But
unfortunately, I can check.
Unfortunately, there are rules, and we can double check. But everybody out there in the Twitch chat and who has been watching all night, thank you so much to our fans as well as our contestants who've all been out here risking their imaginary lives for both glory and your entertainment, as well as, I don't know, maybe a small amount of material gain. And last but not least, of course, our patrons who are contributing actively to the channel and helping all of this go around. We could not make this work without you. Also, I just wanted to take a quick moment to remind everyone again that this is all being, organized to create an inclusive community of questers and adventurers who are dedicated to taking Dungeons & Dragons to its highest level of tension and reward in terms of both the danger and the potential treasure that the adventurers and very real players are capable of walking away with. So once again, make sure to check out Heads Up Guys, the charity that we are raising money for right now if you haven't. And other than that, I'm about to log off of this and then go join the patrons in our weekly after hours game summary sort of chat and chill. And I'll leave you with just one question. So, you think you can quest? And here we reach the end of our tale. For now, join us again next time as the Guild of Mazes presents So You Think You Can Quest.
every day I'm hustling. Just one perception, chance brings every trap that's it. Oh, dungeon masters hate when I sit down to play, cause I'm rolling 20. Hey! Don't hate the player, hate the game. 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 I'm rolling 20s like a 60. Hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm rolling 20s like a 60. Hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm rolling 20s like a 60. Hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game.